Band-Aid gang, what is going on? What is going on? We had to be loyal to our word and loyal to our customers. It's your boy C-Dub, Mr. I ain't said a word, but you know what I'm saying. And I said, damn, y'all double tap that screen. I'm with the
Real Angel
and Diamond gang. And we are,
yes, sir.
We beat you. Thank you guys for coming, gang. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on. What's up, my boss? My boss said he gonna be the first one in the chat for this live. So this live is for the open-minded, and I know y'all seen what we brought to you guys today. I had to prepare the supporters to the channel. This live. This is what's gonna open up your mind to everything that's going on, gang. Everything that these government officials and all of these secret society people are trying to hide. We got it right here. I see you, Damon. What's up, gang, gang? Y'all get in here. We got 7 in the building. We got the most exclusive live that you gonna see on the internet where we broke the code and we brought it to you now. So now you can sit back and put it in cruise control after you see. See, I'm gonna put this in cruise control after we do this live. Y'all hit that like button, gang. Diamond, tell me when you want me to stop.
So now we know that whoever is on that list is scared of what's about to happen next. So scared that randomly today, our president just said he was going to release every alien file there is.
This ain't no boy either, bro. Like, I don't know what the hell going on. They took somebody else's face?
Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Based on tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. Unidentified aerial phenomena.
Anything to cover up what they got going on, because these people have signed an agenda. They have signed an agenda, gang. And they shook. They nervous and then 10 people up in here, gang. Y'all continue. Let's go.
UAP and unidentified flying objects. That's UFO. And any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. Obama was on that podcast and mentioned one thing about aliens. Quick short after that. And today our president...
Diamond, why do you think, I want your opinion. Why do you think that President Obama mentioned that the aliens existed? I just want to know, why do you guys think that in the chat? Why do you think that he finally came out and said this, and he was asked this question so many times before, gang, and they avoided the question?
Because it's already going to eventually come out. He probably already have intelligence telling him that it's eventually going to come out anyway, so might as well be ahead of the game. And he just said they exist. I'm not saying he actually seen one before, probably not. Right. But he said in this clip, he said that if they do exist, that they're basically been held away from the president's knowledge. So basically, if the aliens actually do exist, the president was never informed of it. Well, he wasn't. So
exactly. So doesn't everybody in the chat? We got 41 in here. Y'all hit that like button. We got 41 in here. Double tap the screen. Now, this is what we're trying to get y'all to know. Obama was asked this question many times about aliens. He did not give this type of intel before. Until what? Until the Epstein files came out. And realize, people, as we continue with this live, you're going to see that all these people are in this together, you guys. Republican, Democrat, on this live, you're going to see. Follow the pieces.
Said, due to the fact that he mentioned that, he's going to be in big trouble because he mentioned confidential information. Now, remember I said before, apparently this year was going to be the year of disclosure. Regardless of what's going on right now, remember I said they're trying to get people comfortable just in case something happens.
107.
You had talks to 3-Eye Atlas all last year. You had Anna Paulina Luna saying that she was going to expose some things about aliens. You had multiple people speaking about these things. But because Barack Obama said something about it, now it's time to expose it. I really need y'all to pay attention.
It's
Because I
jealousy.
also said,
That's what it is.
and this is for entertainment purposes only, I'm going to put it in the form of a question. What if it is an alien invasion? Pay attention.
Y'all see it? Every single one of these people that are getting this around their neck was on Epstein flight logs. All of these people were on Epstein flight log, everybody. In the background, you see Bill Gates back there with them big ass glasses. You see Bill Gates because all of these people are involved. All of these people are allegedly trafficking children, operating on children in foreign countries, and also feeding an entity. And we're going to get to that. Diamond sent me something today that I'm about to screenshot and download. Angel, I will need you to, so I can put that out. So I'm going to hit you guys with a lot of information today. I don't want to overcloud your mind, but I'm about to take you there. So make sure you guys get comfortable. Double tap your screen. We are about to take you there. That right there. Screen record that real quick. We got 50 in the building. Y'all sit tight. We about to drop it in right here. Hi, people. Are you wondering why Diddy's name is not in the files? Okay, so let's go ahead and go in, y'all. Let's go in. All these people.
Because as you can see, they're all in this shit together on their side.
Absolutely. All of them on the Epstein, on the logs. Look at them. All of these people were on the Epstein flight log, y'all.
Personal work for the Rothschild family in France. Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole family. So there have been a whole bunch of people. I mean, most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos.
Right there. Michael Levi has a problem with that, gang. Why do you think Michael Levi has a problem with that, Diamond Gang?
Because he's wrapped in it also with the Epstein files.
Say it again.
He's also wrapped into the Epstein files as well.
Exactly. Tied in with Exxon Oil, the whole shebang. We right here. Now, we booty nut. We'll get you up out of here in a minute. Just be patient. Just be calm, or we'll get you up out of here. So now let's continue, Band-Aid Gang. I'm getting everybody warmed up. Open your minds.
Restaurant cannibal should be able to tell us what it was. Or maybe this woman, Jenny Enterprise, that said the beef jerky tasted so good. Did you all know that countries in Africa were suing Jeffrey Epstein for kidnapping, sex trafficking, and a myriad of other charges for the children of Africa? Where are these black children? Where are the black victims in the Jeffrey Epstein case? Happy Black History Month. Where are they? Because based on a lot of these messages.
Now that you just mentioned this, do you remember that black box? I mean that brown box that had that torso in it? That was a black torso. That means that was a black person's body part.
Exactly. That was the torso. Somebody zap we body nut. Booty nut. Zap him. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you look at the files, they showed boxes that actually had body parts in it. If you go in, you know, just like the 50th birthday card letter, whatever you want to call it, for Epstein for his 50th birthday, where the current president, Donald Trump, wrote him a sweet
Hey, Teddy.
letter and with a torso on it. That
Right.
torso is also the same type of image as what was in that box.
It sure was. And as we looked and found more information, that torso was a melanated color. Now, as we continue diving this point on, and we get into the meat and potatoes, y'all. Let's go.
Jeffrey Epstein did not have a propensity to be intimate with black women. So what did he do?
But they love to stay over there in Africa with them kids, though, right, gang? They
Yeah,
love
but you remember they were saying that they were actually hunting black people in around Zora Ranch.
Exactly.
If you remember that also.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely do. Let me check something.
So they might not have wanted to eat black people, but they wanted to hunt black people to have them as trophies.
I got to go on the inside. Exactly. Exactly. Let's go on the inside. Band-Aid gang, let's go.
With the black children and the women that they were kidnapping? Where are they? I'ma say it. I'm scared the beef jerky was black children because it was not food based on this communication. It says Jeffrey is not eating regular food anymore. He's eating beef jerky. This man was obsessed with beef jerky. Writing his chef, Francis Derby, damn near ready to fire the man because he was missing out on beef jerky.
You know what?
They signed a contract with your government, white America.
You remember when Sasha Riley was stating about him befriending a black girl and she ended up getting unalived. Remember Sasha Riley's interview?
Yep.
And he said that he befriended a black girl and they took advantage of her and then unalived her. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely correct.
So to me, it's like they did not like black people, but they
like to hunt them and operate on them.
And operate and disrespect and violate and anything you could think of to black people. Everybody is so focused on Caucasians, right? But it was all races that they were going after, that they were doing these things too.
Absolutely. Now check this out, y'all. Pay attention to this, which makes a lot of sense.
On beef jerky.
They signed a contract with your
it cuts off. Let's go.
government, white America, and signed you over all over the planet. They signed y'all over to the Greys and the insectoids in the 1950s. They signed a contract. Your own people did this to you, white America. They signed, did you know that your own government signed a treaty with the Greys and the insectoids in like the 1930s? Yes. And agreed to let them abduct y'all and do research on y'all.
Is this not what you guys seeing going on right now? While they doing research in all of these foreign countries? Pay attention, gang. This is why they doing research. And that you're seeing in the Epstein files why they're doing it. You're seeing it live and direct right here. Let's continue.
And next, so scared
Hold on,
that
let me get back
randomly
here.
today, our president.
Most of the shit y'all be seeing posted on the internet are they
Run that back so y'all can do that again.
it was. And notice how they stopped. You didn't hear nothing about a UFO again to the last 2
Watch
years,
this,
nigga.
gang.
But in the 90s, 80s,
Let's hit it.
for stem cell research to take back to other realms. Why do you think
Damn near ready to fire the man because he was missing out on beef jerky.
they signed a contract with your government, white America, and signed you over all over the planet? signed y'all over to the grays and the insectoids in the 1950s. They signed a contract. Your own people did this to you, white America. They signed, did you know that your own government signed a treaty with the grays and the insectoids in like the 1930s? Yes. And agreed to let them abduct y'all and do research on y'all for stem cell research to take back to other realms. Why do you think after the 1930s,
or take it back to other realms? And wait till we find out. Did we not know that the Epstein island is where in the Bermuda Triangle? Oh yeah, we about to get deep tonight. We about to get deep tonight. Double tap my screen over there if you're in the vertical side. If you're on that vertical side, double tap that screen. We giving you the real information over here. Today we about to shock them. We about to shock y'all. Let's go.
In the 1940s, UFO sightings sped up. UFOs was crashing. Because they ain't supposed to be in this atmosphere, nigga. First off. So when they come into it, they didn't know how to fly their ships correctly. While still trying to hide away from the sight of everybody that would see them coming here. Go look it up. You go look it up and see when abduction started, and you come back and thank me later. And they was abducting y'all in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. They stopped when we entered into Y2K. They stopped doing it. Go look between the year 1930 and the year 2000, and that 70, what they would call year period, and see how many abductions it was, and how many reported UFO sightings and abductions it was, and notice how they stopped.
Bingo.
You didn't hear nothing about a UFO again to the last 2 years, nigga. But in 90s, 80s, that shit was like everything. 70s, 60s, that was like folklore, everything. Everybody was big into it. That's why Star Wars was popular. And Star Trek movies and series like that they was able to make a lot of money off that because people was, what's in the stars? They was seeing shit. And it wasn't no technology like it is now, so they couldn't post that shit to social media. Nowadays, when people see shit and post it to social media, then what they do is they take a lot of bot pages and attack the posts. So that you'll see people commenting like, oh, they crazy. They try to make other readers think this person ain't telling the truth, or they ain't see what they posted, or what they posted ain't real. Most of the shit y'all be seeing posted on the internet, like otherworldly, when people seeing mermaids, and that shit be real, nigga. It be real. Yeah, they're the government who sent 1,000 commenters under the post to be like, this shit ain't real, y'all. That comment, all the fake pages, they own the internet now. Don't get it. They made this they little shit now. And back then, when it wasn't like all the camera equipment, they just flat out say you was lying. You see what I'm saying? They signed this treaty with the insectoids and the zetagrays. The zetagrays are the ones that people are seeing. You know, the little short gray aliens. When you think of an alien, you think of a gray little short dude with a long neck with black eyes. Let's break that suit down. First off, that's not how the zetagrays even look. That little gray suit you see, that's a suit. So when you seen them gray with the big blue, that was a whole suit. They had on a gray suit to protect their body from this atmosphere because they can't take it. They're not from here, okay? And then they have a helmet on, which is a mask connected to the suit. And the black eyes, the reason they all look the same is because they all got on fucking suits. Let's just say some astronauts did land on another planet, right? Which would never happen. Let's say they went to the Pegasus star system or something like that. All right, they get to the Pegasus star system. Motherfuckers in that galaxy would be like, all them niggas look the same. Because they just gonna see motherfuckers all white with this big round ass bowl on their face. They were like, they all look the same. Whole time, that's the suit they got on because the astronauts are not from the Pegasus star system. And the Pegasus star system is the actual star system. I'm not just saying some shit. That's like if they went to the Pegasus star system, you feel me? And they get there, and then niggas everybody in that galaxy gonna be like, man, them niggas all look the same, them earthlings, you feel me? When they don't. That was their astronaut suit with their helmet on. So I'm trying to get you to think of it from that perspective. That's why when people was like the Zeta Grays here, they like that little alien emoji. They like, oh, that's the aliens, they all look the same. No, they don't. That's their suits they got on. The little black dots is goggles for them to see through. The Mare goggles on the suit. And they can't take the frequency of our atmosphere, so they have to put suits on.
And we talked about this. We talked about this. Look how serious this stuff really is. We had talked about this, Band-Aid gang. That makes a lot of sense. Just put the pieces together to see what these people are worshiping. So as we move on to the next clip, can y'all hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly, Diamond Gang?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm gonna drop this screen. Y'all get in here, double tap that screen, hit that like button. We want her. So as we continue, Band-Aid
But
gang.
you know what? You know what? This is what I want to say on this. If we are being invaded, really, honestly, do we really know if they're harmful to us or not? We really don't know that.
Absolutely.
Are they doing research on us? Most likely, yes, right? But are they harmful to us? That's the biggest question.
Now, one of the biggest questions is that they cannot survive in the atmosphere. So they do use these children. See, the children that allegedly that are coming up missing, they are operating on these children. As we see, they're going back and forth to Africa. They're using it so this alien race can actually survive in our climate. They are doing operations, and so are the extraterrestrials. They're doing operations, and so are we. That's the thing you guys pay attention to. So everybody that's new in the chat, this is what I do. So if you pay attention, everybody, to this picture that you're seeing, I did this on my live just to open the people's minds and to get us back on track. We got 45 in here. Please double tap the screen, hit the like button. Now we're gonna breeze through this because this is gonna open your eyes to everything that's going on. Again, I tell this story. They hide things in plain sight and they put it in your face, right? Castle, whatever you say, but we paying attention to you in the chat. So now everybody pay attention. So what I did was we seen this symbol, this picture being put across the internet on a lot of people's social media platforms. So something told me, and I just repeat, I have said this before, but I'm going into my life. Something told me, hey Dove, screenshot that logo that is on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. And I did. I screenshotted it and I put it in a program and asked exactly what does this symbol mean? And this is what it told me. So I'm showing you the symbol here, right? Here's the symbol. And we're going to get into this live. So I'm going to set the platform, set the ground. So this symbol right here, right, is Azeruna, if I pronounced it right. Okay, look at the symbol. So when it came out, this is the symbol that it gave us, Band-Aid gang. You see down there where that yellow arrow is pointing? Look at the symbol that it gave us. Look at the symbol that it gave us, right? You see the symbol that this gave us. Now, this is a site that gave us exactly what the symbol means. This is what the symbol gave us. We're not hearing that, what you're saying over there, Coral. It's not no J and E. I don't know who sent you over here with the nonsense, but we'll get you up out of here, gang. This is real. This thing is not going to give me this symbol. And after it gave me this symbol, gang, once it gave me this symbol, it goes to a movie. So watch this, Band-Aid gang. Look at the symbol. This is a movie called Ritual. Same thing, right? Ritual. How could it be so connected to this right here, which is sacrificing? Now watch this, gang. How could it be so connected? Double tap my screen. That symbol is right there on that tree. Hit the like button, gang. We ain't playing no games right here. That same symbol is on that tree. Sacrificing, feeding an entity. Now, this is what we're going to do. This is what I do, gang. Hit that like button. So, as we continue, there is the same symbol. They hide it. They put it right there in the movies in your face. See, this is what these people do, gang. This is what these industry people do. This is what our presidents are trying to hide so much of. There's your symbol. There is your symbol. Boom. Now we see right here. Boom. Look at that, Band-Aid gang. I want y'all to pay attention to that right there. Pay attention to that right there. Look at that. Look at that symbol right there, right? As you continue to look, now watch. Boom, there's the same symbol. Look at the people. Look at the people down there. Because what they were doing was pinning people on this same symbol that we see. Now, AI told me this, gang. Now, look, gave me exactly what that symbol meant on his plane. And that's what they were doing, sacrificing people on that. Now, look, let's continue. See those people in the trees? You see the people in the trees, gang? Those trees look like the same trees that's around Zorro Ranch. They got that same texture trees around that ranch. But here's hearsay. Now look at this, gang. Hit the like button. We were heard. Look at that. Now look at that right there. Now look at that symbol, signs and symbols. Now look at Lex Wexner house. Look at the shape and look at the shape of Lex Wexner's house. Double tap my screen. Same shape. Would you not say, Diamond? What is your feedback on that?
It looks exactly the same, and that means that symbol actually means something, and it represents something or someone, or a group, or a cult.
That's exactly what it is. You didn't bring the back? I thought you had it. So there it is, gang. There it is. There it is.
But you know what? You know another thing though, when Lex Wexner was doing his interview, right? He said there was no house on the land of the Zorro Ranch. Remember
exactly.
That, right?
He said it was
and
no house.
Said they put a trailer. He said a trailer on the land.
Yep, a trailer.
So I looked it up, right? That house was not built until 1999. So that means when he went onto that island, it had to have been before 1999. So if we do our research, that means that they've been intertwined for decades. Way longer than we believe they've been intertwined. So he just basically admitted that they've been friends way longer than he actually wanted everybody to know.
And this is connected to the ball. So this same situation, the same sacrificial rituals is all connected to the same thing. So what we're going to do, Band-Aid Gang, y'all get in here. We're going to move into this right here. We're going to get straight to it because we ain't got to play. So y'all seen that picture so close. That image looks almost exactly like the image that was in the movie. So as we continue, Band-Aid Gang, these are all the pieces that everybody need to put together. Now we're going to see what they worship. Now we're going to go to this part. Now we finna get good. Now remember what the young man said earlier in the beginning, what we just started watching in the beginning. The first clips that we were watching, pay attention. Everything is going to fall into place with everything. So let's go ahead. Now this is Jeffrey Epstein's niece. This is the niece. Now listen.
B-A-C-A-L. My family masqueraded themselves as Jewish publicly, but behind closed doors, at Passover dinners, when I was drugged, would admit, we are Satanists. They told me.
Satanists. Did y'all not hear that? Did you not hear that, Band-Aid Gang? They are Satanists. That's what she just said. That's what she just said, gang. We making no mistakes. That's what she just said, Band-Aid Gang. That they Satanists, bro. Hit the like button. Let's go.
That we belonged to the cult of Baal. B-A-apostrophe-A-L. They told me this with consistency while I was being abused. Now, what you can look up about the cult of Baal, information that is publicly available, is that it is thousands of years old. It is a Phoenician satanic fertility cult. And publicly, it's supposed to have been eradicated. But to my knowledge and my experience, it is not. This is what people perceive the Illuminati to be. It is a group.
So which means that we have exposed the Illuminati, gang. That's why they going so hard for each other, gang. That's why they going so hard for each other, Band-Aid gang. Because there's this is what this country was founded off of. Masonic history, all of this is the Masons.
And you remember, Dove, all the presidents are related, but a certain few.
Absolutely. We putting it all together, gang. We dropping gems. So let's continue.
Group of elites that practices forced and uses these crimes to control people. They happen to have a huge reach over politics and entertainment. To answer your basic question, why my family does this, because it was done to them, because having one man bear as many children in a generation as possible.
Bingo. And all of this has came out. What he was doing, injecting himself into other women, making them have his baby. The exact thing, because the same thing that happened to them is what they're doing to other people. It's a pattern of what they do. And this is how they do it. So far as me and Diamond and everybody else know, this could be the reason why all of these certain people are chose and all come from the same bloodline and all make that same oath. This doesn't have nothing to do with what party that you represent, because at the end of the day, they all represent one party, and that is them and themselves only. Let's continue, gang.
And forcing them through these traumatic events. They believe it creates a stronger bond, that creates more loyalty.
Pay attention to the words, a stronger bond. It creates what? More loyalty. Same thing. That's why they standing hard for each other, y'all. They going hard for each other. Let's go, gang.
Keeps people from talking.
What it say? Keep people from talking, Band-Aid gang. Diamond, did she not just say keep people from talking, gang?
She did.
It keep people from talking, gang. They going gun-ho. Hit that like button. We were heard.
And for the most part, they're right, because I'm the only one of my siblings who has directly spoken out about this. There are people who have hinted at it in their music. Of course, Justin Bieber has talked about being assaulted by Usher and Justin Timberlake.
Like, what else? What else? What must people have to see before they realize that this stuff is real? Because nobody believed none of this stuff until now. It just came to the forefront. Nobody believed that, but none of this stuff is happening. So now you have to open your eyes to what is happening, gang. You have to be open-minded, because nobody was believing that this was happening behind the scenes. Nobody believed the Illuminati was real. Nobody knew the type of stuff that these people were worshiping. But now look what you're seeing right now, gang. They draws is knocked straight off. Let's continue.
At P. Diddy's parties, but
You're gonna learn something today.
I don't think it's a coincidence they've only gone after Sean Combs and not his other alleged perpetrators who were born into the bloodline.
This is what we're saying. They protect some and then they throw others under the bus. So that's a good distinction there. She's telling us some get thrown under, some get protected for life.
Seems to be a level of protection for people who are simply born into that world. contrasted with people like Sean Combs or R. Kelly, who joined as adults. But I was not in the boardrooms. I was a child on drugs. So I can't tell you exactly who organizes this, exactly how it happens. It's just speculation.
I'm telling you how it happened, though. We telling you how it happened, though.
Yep. I mean, you know, and
we telling you guys how it happened. Let's get to it. So now let's go back into Band-Aid Gang. New Illuminati real. Didn't know it was right in our faces. Exactly, Coral. So now this is what we about to do right now. We about to show you this right here, gang. Now we're going to give you sight. Now this is what's going on, basically what they have going on in Iran. So in Iran, the people, see, they don't watch the same news as we watch, right? They don't watch the same news. We don't have the same television. So it's only certain pieces and bits and pieces that we're going to be able to see over here, because they're not going to let us see everything over here, because everything's different over here. Exactly. The dream is over. Exactly. Everybody, I agree with you. I agree with you, Secret. So now look, gang, wake up. So this is what they're doing in their country. The same symbolic thing. See, they know, but they're not going to show us everything, right? So look, let's look.
Declaring war against God and people of God. And the worst thing about this whole stuff is that we Christians, or even people of God, really don't have anything to say or anything to do about this stuff. No one's even doing anything, even after the Epstein files are out. And all the guys that are involved in these files are actually running free, and they're still ruling and living their elite class lives as though nothing ever happened. And what's interesting here is that right after the response of Prime Minister Netanyahu, where he said that,
tell me, how do they know over in Iran exactly what these people were already worshiping over here? The same tribe that Epstein niece just explained symbolically. Why is it the people in Iran already know this? Answer me that. Answer me that, Band-Aid Gang. There it is. B-A-L-L. B-A-L-L. Explain to me. Somebody explain that to me. How does they know the exact same thing? Explain that to me. And we don't watch the same news as them, gang. Let's go.
burning Bob.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life.
Statue is basically known as a declaration of war. And right after he said the statement, it seems like the Iranians were not done with it. So they went on and created another statue of the demon Baal, and they decided to burn it once again. How did they know? And this right here is the footage where they're throwing stones at these demons, and they're basically just burning the whole thing down. Look at that stuff. So this is basically a very clear sign that the world is waking up, and they're no longer going to be taking this stuff. And they're also burning the 666 symbol, which is basically the symbol known for Antichrist. If you don't know, if you haven't read the Bible, you should probably know that the number 666 is basically known as the number of the person who's going to be coming forth in the future. And he is known as the Antichrist, who's basically going to be against God and is going to lead us all into the final chapter of Revelation in the Bible. What's actually interesting here, a Jewish rabbi who's apparently known to be the revered rabbi for all the Jews. Now, this rabbi ended up informing the Israelites that he had some sort of a vision from God himself, and God basically showed him who the true Messiah is. And the people of Israel were extremely excited to know who that is, because they obviously trusted him, and he was obviously known to have like a very high rank when it comes to being a rabbi.
So remind you that there were more than one Antichrist.
They don't allow.
So now let's,
They don't allow. There's a comment. They're gonna watch you for the bet.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Shit, I don't care. You don't work for him, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, like I said, gang, at the end of the day, there was more than one. There was actually more than one. So everything tore itself down on this planet, and it came and it rebuilt itself again. So it's always been more than one Antichrist. It's going to be more than one. So let's continue. So this one right here is before we get into this, we're gonna go ahead and get into this real quick. Double tap that screen, hit that like button, because at the end of the day, I always told you that there's something going on underground. Everything is going on underground. So now we're gonna get a little history on Hackman and what was really going on. See, this is yet to come up to people. They're hiding this, but this is the missing piece to this whole operation. This is the missing piece to the whole operation that need to be filled in. But this man is gone. So let's continue.
Parents, Anna and Eugene. He also has a brother named Richard. Gene's family moved around quite a bit before settling in Danville, Illinois, and Gene's father, Eugene, operated the printing press for the local newspaper. See, Gene's parents ended up getting a divorce when Gene was just 13 years old, and his father left not long after the divorce. So Gene knew from a young age that he wanted to be an actor. He was reportedly 10 years old when he made this decision, but he knew that he needed to grow up a little bit more before he could do that. So as Gene got older, he attended Storm Lake High School. And when he was 16, he lied about his age so he could enlist in the U.S. Marines. Imagine that.
Now, think about it. Think about this. How can you be just 16 and lie about your age, Diamond, and get into the Marines?
Because back then they didn't have all the guardrails they do have now on identification.
But I think that he was chosen because of his position that he was in the Marines. Now listen.
Especially when you see the way that things are nowadays, like he lied about his age so he could go into the military. Yeah, he ended up being stationed in China, and he served 4.5 years as a field radio operator.
Field radio operator. Apparently he had skills, right, Diamond Gang? He had some type of skill of radio operating, right? Band-Aid Gang? He had a skill. So right. He had a skill. Let's go.
Gene was discharged in 1951, and this is when he moved to New York City, where he worked several different jobs. After that, he made his way back to Illinois after his mother passed in an accidental fire. He briefly attended the University of...
Now, his mother passes from an accidental fire. Allegedly, we don't know what that's about. It all seems strange to me how he got into the military and the type of field that he had in the military. And then his mother ends up unalive from a fire. Okay, now we're gonna move to the next clip. So we want to set the stage. We want to set the stage. So now we set the stage. So as we set the stage here, we're gonna get into it. Let's go.
Legendary actor Gene Hackman. ABC News has obtained the search warrant for his New Mexico home. We'll tell you what authorities found when they arrived.
Because beneath the floors of legendary actor Gene Hackman's estate, concealed behind the walls of his private library, lies something that was never supposed to be found. A tunnel, ancient, forgotten.
Remind you, real close to Epstein, Zorro Ranch. Let's go.
And filled with secrets so disturbing that even the most hardened investigators struggle to process what they're seeing.
A cloud of suspicion surrounds the deaths of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife, whose bodies were found in their Santa Fe home. No one had seen the couple for days, and authorities say they had been dead for some time.
Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy were found dead inside this mansion. The official story says natural.
Traditional dropshipping is dead. What we need to do is register. with AutoDS. The quickest
causes. But the discovery of this underground labyrinth tells a very different story. What was buried beneath this estate? Who built it? And what does it have to do with the mysterious deaths of one of Hollywood's most celebrated couples?
Thank you, Dub. Exactly. That's how I feel.
It is the newly released body cam video showing cops arriving at the Santa Fe home of Gene Hackman and his wife. They learned from a handyman they are dead.
The mansion in the woods. To understand what happened, you first need to understand where it happened. Gene Hackman's estate wasn't just a home. It was a fortress. Nestled within dense, almost impenetrable
Exactly.
property was designed for one purpose.
Yep.
Absolute privacy. Towering stone.
Same layout. Go ahead, Donna.
Ranch and Lex Wexner's estate. It's the same type of layout.
Same layout, y'all. Just like Diamond said, it's the exact same layout. Sitting on the top of the mountain, and you can see how it's built, like they sit on top, and that's where them tunnels are leading. Not too far. This is only about 30 minutes away. Santa Fe is 30 minutes away from the Zorro Ranch. 30 minutes away. 30 minutes away, gang. 30 minutes away. Now listen.
Walls, reinforced steel gates, motion sensors, thermal cameras, and round-the-clock surveillance systems that would rival government installations. The staff? Handpicked, vetted, bound by ironclad legal agreements that prevented them from ever speaking about what went on inside.
So why would the people not be able to speak on what went on inside of his house? Why would they have to sign a contract on what went on inside of his house? Isn't that quite suspicious, Band-Aid Gang? Diamond Gang, is that kind of crazy that they had to sign some type of agreement that they cannot say what goes on in this man's home?
Right. So they signed the NDA because whatever they got going on in there, they want to keep private. And it's very suspicious.
That part.
This wasn't the retreat of a man who wanted peace and quiet. This was the sanctuary of someone who had something to hide.
Bingo.
Step past those gates, and the sheer extravagance is overwhelming. Hallways lined with original masterpieces from legendary painters. Furniture dating back centuries, once belonging to European aristocrats. Chandeliers rumored to have hung in the grand halls of ancient palaces. Gardens tended by world-class horticulturists, filled with plants so rare they exist in only a handful of places on Earth. But beneath all that opulence, something else was waiting. Something dark.
A sheriff's department statement said foul play was not suspected, but authorities said the deaths were, quote, suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation.
During recent renovations, workers stumbled upon something they weren't supposed to find. A hidden passage. And when investigators finally explored it, they realized this wasn't some modern addition. The walls were reinforced with an unusually strong material. The construction dated back decades, possibly even a century. Someone had built this tunnel to last, or to keep something hidden forever. But what shocked investigators wasn't just the tunnel itself, it was where it led.
A major ruling from a judge will allow the public to see inside the home of Hollywood legend Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa after they were found dead.
Into the darkness. The moment FBI agents entered the mansion, something felt wrong. It wasn't the silence, it wasn't the grandeur. It was the subtle details that didn't add up. Furniture that had been moved, scuff marks on the floor, inconsistencies in Hackman's personal belongings that suggested someone had been searching for something, or perhaps hiding something.
Y'all get in here.
But the real discovery came when agents examined the library. Behind a section of the wall, concealed so perfectly that it would have been invisible to anyone who didn't know where to look, they found it. A narrow passageway, stone steps spiraling downward into absolute darkness. The air grew colder
tonight,
with
y'all.
each step, damp, heavy. The agents' flashlights cut through the black, revealing walls covered in strange symbols, markings that didn't match any known language.
Hey, Dub,
Some
look
resembled
at those symbols that was on the wall. Those symbols look like the same symbol you just showed before. Look.
Bingo. There's the one right there at the bottom. There they go. Bad Day Gang, I told you we be on it, gang. We be on it. We be on it.
That symbol that was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane is right there on that wall that was in the tunnel.
Exactly. And then look at the one that's right next to your avatar, your head right there on the big screen. Beneath you, that's the shape of the arm, the thing that Lex Wexner house was symbol, look like the Lex Wexner house shape. Okay, so for the ritual. So now look at the symbols. It's one at the top.
Question real quick though, Dove. What if all these symbols were shapes of everybody that's affiliated in this cult of their house, how the shapes of their houses are made? So, you pointed out, Lex Wexner's house was the shape of one of the symbols. How do we know? Let's look at Jane's house and see if it's the same shape of one of these symbols. How do you know that they're not symbols of the ones that are in these carvings here? Everybody that's affiliated had their house built in the basically like the same shape. So like if say you're flying,
and that's why they buy so much different property
on an airplane.
Right.
Right. If you're flying from an airplane, what are you gonna see? You're gonna see the shape of a house, right? So if it's the shape of the symbol, they will know that they're affiliated with the organization without having to say it.
There you go. There you go. Diamond, you got him right there. Nurse 59 say yes. You're exactly right, Diamond. I give you that one right there. You on point with that one. And that's what they see. So they can be able to identify who is in their cult, who is in the nation with them. Exactly. You on it. You on it.
So remember Jay-Z and Beyonce's house is the letter of 4, right?
Right.
It's shaped in the letter 4 in California.
Okay.
So if you look at a lot of the people that's affiliated with this organization, their houses, like I said, are most likely shaped like these symbols in this tunnel. Now, why did they get on the live? Gene and his wife get on the live? We don't know. But at the fact that they were exposed to the tunnel by going in their house, they would have probably been better off keeping them alive so that the tunnel would have never been found, so that those symbols would have never been discovered. Because now that we know the symbols, now we're starting to understand that everybody is connected in a way that have these shapes and symbols around them.
So everybody, you need to start getting your phones out, take a picture of these symbols, and take pictures of more. But here's another thing that makes sense, that what you just said, Diana, that's real crazy about this is that it made me think when it comes to the signs and the symbols, his wife, Gene Hackman's wife, they found she was looking up COVID-19 on the computer. She was looking up COVID-19, but there was also a man.
Hold on. And you remember, now that you said that, Bill Gates in the e-files, it was stating in the emails that Bill Gates had something to do with it, him and Elon, with C-19. They were doing experiments on pandemic assimilations. So Bill Gates is, I don't even know why this man is still out here and not arrested.
Thank you, Dub. Now
Because
watch
if you
this.
look at the emails, Bill Gates is one of the big key figures on why we went through the pandemic.
Dub Dilla said he got to roll up a blunt. Roll it up, Dub Dilla. He said this is some deep ish. So now look, gang, that's why I tell you we get deep over here. It's just started. We just started cooking for real. Now we've been to cook. So Diamond just said those symbols could be something that we see up high when we look down if we're in a plane. So now you got people gonna be taking flights looking down, looking for these symbols. So when you get on a plane, guys, y'all look for these symbols, you might see them. So now let's get deep. So she was looking up, like Diamond said, COVID-19. So we know she was looking up COVID-19. But this is what bothered me. There was a person that came over the house, and they wanted Gene Hackman and his wife. They say this person got in and was wanting him to sign some papers. Now, as we continue to go down on this live, you're gonna see that there was something going on with this type of
how we know it wasn't over his estate? How you know it wasn't over his estate? Remember,
I think they blew. I think
over
they
his entire estate to Epstein. How we
well,
know it wasn't
yeah, that's
affiliated with
exactly what I was about to say, because I think they blew that other serum that they had. Remember, we was watching that on Sidebar. It's on Sidebar. I got it on the timeline that they was actually, I think they blew it in his face and his wife's face, and they had them sign some papers. Because remember when we discussed this, it made you lose your memory, and it was like a truth serum. And we're gonna get to that. It's on here, but let's go ahead and let's keep everybody on track with what we're going to. But I have it on here. Let's go.
Symbols, markings that didn't match any known language. Some resemble.
So here's some of the symbols, gang.
Resembled ancient alchemical signs. Others looked like technical schematics, blueprints for inventions that seemed to defy the era in which they were created. And then they reached the chamber, a vast underground warehouse, frozen in time. Stacks of ancient wooden crates lined the walls like a forgotten archive. Some had crumbled with age, their contents spilling out across the stone floor. Yellowed documents, rusted metallic objects.
To be honest, sometimes I actually have no idea what's going on until I open Monday.com, and boom.
Antique artifacts that defied explanation. One agent carefully lifted the lid of a dust-covered box. Inside were photographs, fragile, yellowed. The faces staring back were unfamiliar, their clothing and hairstyles hinting.
Because you know what? They were shapeshifters. That's why. Them people were shapeshifters. People from the past that come into the future. I believe these people were some of the shapeshifters, Band-Aid gang. These people were shapeshifters, bro. So that's what I'm getting. That's the type of energy I'm getting off of this. Let's go.
At a bygone era. Some photos captured secret meetings in dimly lit rooms. Others showed strange, unidentified locations. A few depicted individuals whose names had been lost to history. Each image seemed to hold a hidden story, a piece of a puzzle no one had ever assembled. Beside the photographs were leather-bound files filled with hastily scribbled notes, records of events that appeared to have been deliberately buried, passages that suggested deception, secrecy, and possibly something far worse. But the most chilling find was still waiting in the shadows.
Watch.
They checked the roof, they checked every vent, they checked every part that had to do with gas. They checked, and there was no major finding.
But new details are emerging about the condition of Gene Hackman's body when he was found, which Moya says was in a similar condition to his wife's.
The door that shouldn't exist. As the agents swept their flashlights across the chamber, the beam landed on something partially hidden in the darkness. An old iron door. Its surface was covered in rust and grime, untouched for what looked like decades. There was no handle, only a heavy, corroded lock that seemed designed to keep something sealed away forever. The FBI has refused to comment on what they found beyond that door, but the rumors spreading through investigative circles paint a disturbing picture. Some believe the tunnel is part of an extensive underground network, one that has remained undiscovered.
No, it's been discovered. The underground network. It's been discovered. It's been discovered, and they stalling you out. See, everybody say it's a distraction. The big distraction is the tunnels. That is the biggest distraction of all of this. It's the tunnels. It's the Epstein files, but the tunnels is everything. Because something in the tunnels that they are sacrificing children to, as well as doing operations. Now we on their ass. Now look at this game. We on their ass
for generations. Others suspect it leads to a hidden bunker, possibly connected to Cold War era operations or even older, more secretive organizations. But here's where things get even stranger. The floor of the chamber wasn't just covered in dust. It was marked with circular patterns that, when viewed from above, resembled celestial.
There you go. There you go. Look at this game.
Star maps, as if whoever created them was mapping the heavens or signaling something beyond this world. The tools found in the crates were equally bizarre.
That's what we want to hear.
Some had engravings that didn't match any known manufacturer. Others contained mechanisms so precise they would require technology far beyond what existed when the tunnel was supposedly built.
Bingo. Now y'all heard that. Y'all heard that, Band-Aid gang. Now, since you heard that, let's do them all type of ways. All right. So now, let's get to the meat and potatoes. I said, damn, we on their ass. So now, let's go, gang. Now, this is one of the survivors. Okay. And again, she was from Africa, right? So we're going to do them all type of ways.
So, when I was studying Bestie, I went to, there was like a restaurant bar where they had free drinks for models. So as young girls, we obviously went along. And a girl approached me. Her name was Naja Hill. And she said that, she was here from America, and her friend Jeffrey Epstein was here. She said he owned his own island in the Caribbean, and he was like the king of America. She said he was here with Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey and Chris
Mm-hmm. Look at who is in the media today. Look at old Bill, gang. Look old Bill, gang.
Tucker, and it would be a great opportunity for me to meet them for my modeling. So then we went across to the restaurant where they were. It was like a 5-10 minute drive. It was very nearby. And sure enough, they were all there. I was only 20 years old. I just turned 20, actually. And for a young girl from Africa, it was like a shock to meet all these people. I was like, oh my God, because I'd never met anyone famous. I was completely starstruck. And one weird thing is when I met Clinton, because they were all eating dinner and they all stood up to like shake my hand during dinner. And Clinton like held onto my hand and he went like this and he started talking to someone else for like 2 minutes. And he just held onto my hand the whole time. And then eventually he looked back at me and he said, nice to meet you. And like, I've never had anyone do anything like that. It was very weird, like for someone to hold onto my hand for so long. And I felt like, I was like nervous. I was like, I
said, damn, look at him, gang. Look at him, Diamond. Look at him, gang. I said, damn.
It was just like, yeah, weird. And then obviously they staged the modeling casting. Bill Clinton walked through while they were doing the casting. They also took me to a speech they were doing in Africa for a lower income university.
Right. Well, Bill Clinton did say that they were on a lot of retreats. I mean, not retreats, but speeches and engagements in Africa.
like they was on little missionary missions
he
and
did
stuff like
tell
that.
the truth. If you listen to the interview, I mean the deposition, he did say that.
Exactly. So let's go ahead, gang.
And filmed all the students in the hall like this, because I was sitting right behind him. So I was like wondering, why is this man filming everyone? You know, I assumed it was maybe because they were doing a speech on AIDS. I thought he was sort of gathering, videos of it. But all these years later, it's quite clear,
And like she said, she spoke about it, what, gang? About AIDS. So he said that's what he was doing. He was going on this little thing about AIDS. And like she said, it was pimping. Somebody put it inside the chat. So let's go ahead and watch this, gang. Listen to this.
that there was something far more sinister going on. So after that, we went back to the hotel and I showed them my modeling portfolio. Bill Clinton walked through while they were doing the casting. Then I was sent through to see Epstein. He looked at my book and he said, right, he thinks I'd be perfect for Victoria's Secret. And then within...
Perfect for who, Band-Aid, gang? Victoria's Secret. Les Wexner, get your ass over here, gang. We on your ass too. We on your ass too. Because you exposed yourself today. We already did you all type of ways. So now we know what they putting them girls in them drawers for, right? They putting them in them drawers, right? Let's go.
3 weeks they had me there. They arranged me a visa. They paid for my flights. I said to them, I don't have a lot of money. I can't afford to really come. And they said, no, don't worry. All your expenses will be deducted from your income. So it sounded like a completely legitimate experience. My mum also spoke to him before I was taken there. He also said to my mum that he perhaps wanted to help pay for me to study because, my mum was very interested in my education. So, it just seemed like a very legitimate opportunity considering the people he was here with, and then I was flown there and I went to, I was taken to the modeling apartment in New York. A car picked me up at the airport. Then the phone rang and they said it was Sarah Kellen, one of the girls who posed as a modeling agent. And they said, pack a small bag, we're going to the Caribbean. So I assumed it was for a modeling shoot. I didn't have any money with me. It was very frightening. And then as soon as the airplane took off from Teterboro Airport, I was driven to the airport there and Epstein started touching me forcibly between my legs and the other girls were laughing. And I got a terrible shock and I thought, oh my God, these people are going to try to kill me. I suddenly realized, oh my God, my family might never see me again.
Now we heard that part of that story. So I'm going to drop this one and I'm going to move to the next piece because I put it in pieces. So we're going to track it down because it's not going to take a lot of you people long to get the picture and understand what's going on. If you miss it, that's your problem. But this is right here. Now let's continue. I want y'all to pay attention to what she said right here. This is crazy.
There's been a huge cover up here. And I mean, also, even before Epstein was arrested, he ordered like gallons of sulfuric acid.
So as she explains, okay, this is a real serious cover up, right? So now we used to speak on it being a cover up. But this is exactly what me and Diamond had talked to you guys before about. So watch this.
To the property, he also ordered, tons of cement. He ordered carpet shredders, tile extractors. I mean, it's quite clear they were trying to hide something. And also with that island, you've got to realize that there was obviously something underneath because the accommodation on top was way too basic for a billionaire.
Here you go. Did you hear what she said? The top shit on the top, when you look at all the stuff, it's basic. It looked basic. Remember we had that conversation when you looked in the files and they were showing the house diamond inside. Everything looked basic. Looked like nobody even spent time in that top floor of the house. So just like she said,
And
right
it was
here,
horrible taste.
yes,
The furniture,
horrible.
everything was just horrible taste. Looked like they went to a thrift store and got all that stuff.
Exactly. So now everybody, you hear what she said? We're gonna wind that back again. Makes a whole lot of sense. Now, why, Diamond? She gonna say some shit that's gonna freak you out. Now watch this game.
Extractors. I mean, it's quite clear they were trying to hide something. And also with that island, you've got to realize that there was obviously something underneath because the accommodation on top was way too basic for a billionaire. It was just very basic. And if they say that people like Oprah and all these people were staying there, I don't know where they were staying. Like even when I met Michael Bear and I met the scientists, I'd meet them once and I wouldn't see them again. So it's not like they were hanging around. It's like they went somewhere and I think they were underground.
Need I say more? Need I say more? Need I say more? So when we start covering, because I'm finna breeze through this, gang. I'm not gonna spend much time. I'm breezing through this because I know it's a lot more stuff to impact. So the people that are watching now, once I go ahead and go back and start, updating you with everything, you'll pretty much know exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the next one. This is the one that's gonna freak you out, Diamond, right here. This one's gonna tweak you guys out, right? So we just heard the intro of this live that we just started. So y'all hit that like button while y'all in here. This one right here. Listen to this one, Diamond Gang.
What really changed me being there, and also, like I've said before, one of the times when he took me to the bedroom in the Caribbean, I saw him literally shapeshift into like the devil. His head went big, and there were these big black eyes, and there were ridges on his head and horns. He looked like a sort of reptilian, alien, devil creature.
Bingo. I said, damn. Did y'all hear that? Look, gang. Look, was he almost the same thing as what, look, listen.
And also, like I've said before, one of the times when he took me to the bedroom in the Caribbean, I saw him literally shapeshift into like the devil. His head went big, and there were these big black eyes, and there were ridges on his head and horns. He looked like a sort of reptilian, alien, devil creature, and with a mouth and a long tongue. And I got so freaked out because I saw that happen, and then I looked away, and then I looked back, and it was him again. And I didn't see him transforming like the Incredible Hulk. What happened is I looked away, and then I looked at him, and then it wasn't him anymore. It was something else there. And then I looked like in shock. I didn't say anything, of course. And then I looked away and then looked back, and it was him again. But I saw it clear as day, talking about paranormal things that have happened, because there's a lot of weird stuff that happened there. And, the media don't want things like that coming out. But I very much saw him turn into something. And I swear on my life, that's what happened. I've never seen anyone else turn into anything. Also, we weren't allowed alcohol, or they didn't have alcohol or drugs or anything there. So some people say, oh, was I on drugs? Maybe they drugged me. I don't know. But over the years after that, I experimented with drugs. I obviously don't do drugs, apart from smoking a bit of weed. But I've never seen anyone turn into anything when I've, no matter how drunk I've been or how much weed I smoked, or, I never saw anyone turn into something. So, and also another interesting fact is that apparently the island is in the Bermuda Triangle or very nearby. Apparently it's in the Bermuda Triangle. So it could almost be like a portal where weird things like that happen. Because I've met a lot of people over my life, and I've never seen anyone turn into anything like that. And the thing is, I almost blanked it out, because at the time it was such a frightening thing to happen, and I didn't tell anyone. It was just something really weird, Also, it was 23 years ago. The world was very different back then. So I just sort of I told my mom about it one time, but I didn't tell her about the sexual abuse and everything. I told my mom that I'd sort of seen Epstein turn into something like this, but I didn't tell her in the context of how it happened, but it's something that very much happened. Like I said, I'd like to be lie detected about it, because it was there. It was obvious. So he used to take me into the bedroom 3 times a day. But as a lot of people know, his penis was very small. It was very, so it wasn't he was trying to force orgasms of girls, and he was trying to have sex, but it was anyway, I don't want to really go into all that. But so the bedroom was always.
He had a micro penis.
Where he took me, it was free.
He had to be alien.
Sausage.
So did you hear what she said? When she said the man shapeshift like that, gang? What you think about that, baby? What you think? Because I know how you are when it comes to, that's crazy, y'all. They say he's shapeshift. And when you put all these pieces together, man, y'all. Oh my goodness.
There is a reason why they do not want to search the Zorro Ranch. Now, the state was ordered and said that they were going to do an investigation on the Zorro Ranch, and the state ended up turning it over to the feds, and now the feds are basically blocking and acting like, the investigation no longer exists. Why would they turn it over to the feds after we know for a fact that the feds obviously is compromised. I don't know. But the state was supposed to do their own separate investigation on the Zorro Ranch. Because of it being private property, they have to go through different hoops to be able to access the land outside of the land that they now own, right? The state owns partial land, but the other part of the land that we really need access to is private property. So we're still in the I don't know phase on what's going on in the Zorro Ranch. We know that there's allegedly dead bodies on the property, right? Well, the only way we're going to be able to find out is if people start doing their jobs. Now, what I don't know what's going to come of the Zorro Ranch at this point, but you guys really need to stay in tune with what's going on right now. Do your research on the Zorro Ranch. They are hiding. They are hiding. They're talking about turning it into a Christian retreat or something or other. That is just a scapegoat to destroy evidence. We need to protest. We need people to go out there and protest and make sure that they do not disturb any more evidence that needs to be discovered on that ranch.
There we go. Let's go, gang.
Is that Wexner in 1985 basically is like, yeah, I'm possessed by a demon.
Les Wexner owns some of the most popular stores you've seen at the mall, but his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
There is no single person that was more involved in providing Jeffrey Epstein with the financial support to commit his crimes than Les Wexner.
Les Wexner exposes that he has been possessed by a demon in 1980. No joke. In New York Magazine, a billionaire Victoria's Secret founder Leslie Wexner described being possessed by.
And you see, gang, that's why we stay on his head, gang. We staying on Lex Wexner, gang. Lex Wexner funded most of everything that Jeffrey Epstein doing. Lex Wexner is behind it all, Diamond Gang.
I believe that eventually it's going to come out that either if something happens to Lex Wexner, we already know what pretty much happened. They always try to say that it was natural causes, or they try to unalive themselves. They unalive themselves. We all know now that is their MO.
Exactly. They gotta get rid of Lex Wexner, y'all. Allegedly, like Diamond said, they're gonna do something to get rid of Lex Wexner. He funded everything, gang. Funded everything. And I wouldn't be surprised. Same thing. What do you think about Bill Clinton?
I believe that he's probably affiliated, but a lot of the things that were going on, it's hard for me to believe that he would go that far to mess with little kids. I don't believe that. Do I believe that he was messing with grown adults? Yes. He was cheating on Hillary years and decades ago. But the way Hillary is, I think he knows better, because the way she gave him that black eye from messing around with Monica Lewinsky, I think who knows nothing? You think who knows nothing? I think that Bill Clinton knew better after what he did with Monica Lewinsky.
Oh my God, you sound crazy. You sound crazy,
you see that black eye that she gave him? Did you see the shiner?
You sound absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Anyway, I think that Bill is affiliated, but I don't think that he's intertwined like you think. I don't.
What?
What? I think that he knows a lot, just like Jay-Z knows a lot. But are they ever going to tell on the people that they know about? Probably not.
Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Diamond right now, gang. I believe that Clinton
There's
had a whole lot
there's
to
a
do
lot
with
of
this.
people that know a lot or do a lot. Right now, we're trying to figure out about the missing bodies and about the people that were messing around with
So
little
you're
kids.
telling me
Do I
after all
believe that
these
he was
trips
messing
you
with
heard?
little kids? No.
No, Diamond, you're telling me after the stuff that you heard, Clinton went over to all these islands, got a massage from the black girl, going over there, all the stuff that he did, and he don't have nothing to do with it?
I believe that he knew a lot of people. He wasn't even president at that time. But he
That
knows
doesn't
a
matter.
lot of people.
It doesn't matter if he was president.
Okay, so if you know a lot of people and you so happen to take pictures around a lot of people, then does not necessarily mean the actions
Oh my
that they
God,
were doing
you
at
still
that
on this
particular
Democrat
time.
Republican stuff, gang?
I'm not actually. I'm
You're
not
still on the
actually.
Democrat Republic. You're still
I
on
am
that.
not. If
Yes,
there is
you
evidence,
sound
hard
like
evidence
the
that-
man was getting his neck
Okay,
rubbed by
let me say
Shantae.
this. Hold on, let me say this. Has there ever been a court case on Bill Clinton involving him and Epstein messing with a little kid? No, it has not.
No, it hasn't.
The only
It has
person
cases
that
where this
does
man
have
has.
a case that was open on him alongside Epstein was Donald Trump. And it's not got nothing to do with party lines. It's got to do with pure evidence. Until I see evidence of him messing with little kids, it's hard for me to believe Bill Clinton would even go that far.
Bye, Felicia.
Now eating
Bye,
people,
Felicia.
I believe
Bye,
that
Felicia.
maybe he was eating people, but I don't think that he was a pedo.
Bye, Felicia. You just seen a picture with him having that girl sitting on his lap, that young girl.
Okay, sitting and actually sleeping with is two different things.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Daibu, which is a malicious spirit or demon in Jewish folklore. Wexner describes the entity as a demon that wakes him up in the morning, creating constant sense of worry and spiritual pins and needles. Wow. So that's what's going on with Leslie Wexner. And we're going to go to this Joe Rogan clip talking about Leslie Wexner, and then to so many others explaining the deep, dark ties with Epstein, but also, does this demon have anything to do with it?
Who is a self-proclaimed possessed by a demon.
What?
Yeah. Whitney has a whole chapter where she goes into this article that was done by a mainstream news source like 10, 20 years ago, where they're interviewing Leslie Wexner and asking him about how he came to power and what's his secret. It's called his D-book, D-Y-B-U-K, and you can read about this on Wikipedia as well.
Wow.
He describes in his own words that he's possessed by a D-book, which is like a Yiddish word for a evil demon that drives him for more and more and more and more. This is in his own words.
Is he being hyperbolic? Is
A
he
little
joking
bit.
around? Like,
No.
oh, I'm possessed by a demon that just wants more and more. I just want to be successful.
No, I mean, I wasn't in the room, but I assume based upon the wording and how it's put, I assume it's like, it's like,
I want to read that.
It's like a billionaire. I mean, it's in the text. It's directly quoted in the text in One Nation Under Blackmail, actually, which is in that backpack.
One Nation Under Blackmail.
One Nation Under
Is that
Blackmail by
Whitney's
Whitney
book?
Webb. Highly recommend, but it's super dense. It's a hard read. I've read it 3 times now, and I still am taking notes and trying to look things up to understand it because she's just so researched. And it's things like this, where she's gone back to the original article where they were interviewing him, and he's just like a CEO. So they're just asking him, what's your secret to success? And he's like, I'm possessed by, I have a drive for more. And he chose the word D-book, which is a Yiddish word.
So this is from New York Magazine interview.
That's exactly the source.
He says, and now perhaps it's time to reintroduce Leslie Wexner's D-book, the demon that always wakes up in the morning with Wexner and tweaks and pulls at him. When he was a boy, his father called it tummel, a churning. So he feels molten and unformed, pricked by these spiritual pins and needles. He met this demon again when he was 40 and already worth $500 million.
Dang.
When he climbed the mountain in front of the house in Vale and almost froze to death and decided to change his life. This demon he calls terminal schvilkes, which makes him wander from house to house, repeating the pattern of his childhood on a luxurious scale, wanting more, swallowing companies larger than his own. It is precisely the reason that Wexner has $1 billion and doesn't stop at, say, 5 million and a new Mercedes every other year, and what he calls normal life. Bridge on Wednesdays and bar mitzvahs on Saturdays, and the Winding Hollow Country Club in Columbus, which is like Buckingham Palace to him when he was 15.
Yeah, so that's just to point out.
That's crazy. So this guy is the one who essentially made Jeffrey Epstein, and he's the one who's claiming that he was possessed by a demon. Now we go to Whitney Webb here explaining this.
Is that Wexner in 1985 basically is like, yeah, I'm possessed by a demon that tells me what to do.
Wow.
And I have a split personality, and my the nice part of me is stunted, and I'm controlled by like this demon that tells me what to. He uses a Yiddish word that literally means demon. It's de book, I think is how it's pronounced.
Everybody, everything is starting to come out right here now. Everything is coming out. Everything is coming out.
My question is why would Lex Wexner sign over his entire power of attorney to Epstein, unless they did some type of deal to swap the spirit of the evil spirit to Epstein and take him away from Wexner. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems like some scary movie type of stuff. Mute your mic.
It sounds like they swapped each other for whatever favor that Epstein asked for. So he probably asked for wealth, XYZ, and they made some type of pact, some type of arrangement for him to think it was okay to give this man power of attorney of all his assets and his finances.
I'm getting an echo off of your microphone.
I do think it's bigger than what we think it is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Diamond. It is very bigger than what we think it is. That's why before we dive into these things, and we have to have an open mind. People don't want to hear this type of stuff because they think it's unreal. But what must I show you guys to let you see? And the stuff that you hear unfolding, do you have to just hear it unfold on the news, but you can't believe the people that's telling you ahead of time on what's happening? But you're not going to believe it until it's right there point blank in your face. But sometimes it's too late. Sometimes you got to move ahead of time so you can move strategically so the shit don't happen. See, some people get caught in the clutch like that because they're not thinking ahead. They're not playing chess. They playing checkers out here. But we out here playing chess. We 3 moves ahead. I have to think of these people like they're opponents, gang. It's not a game. When I get on here, I'm coming for real. I ain't coming on here to play no games, mislead nobody, misguide nobody. We bringing you the facts. We done showed you the tunnels. We done showed you everything. And some people still not going to get it. They still not going to get it. They don't want to see it until it's too late. Let's continue. Now, this is what I believe that was sprayed in Gene Hackman's face.
Brings me to this document, February 2022. It is described as a victim impact statement that was sent to the United States Attorney in South Florida, Tony Gonzalez. And it's apparently from a Joseph Manzaro discussing an incident in December 2014 where he was drugged. Now, if anybody's been following us here on Sidebar for a while now, as I was listening to this and I was reading, I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? And I realized we covered this guy. Joseph Manzaro, we don't know exactly who he is, but he is somebody we talked about before. This person, apparently out of Florida, Joseph Manzaro, filed a lawsuit in Florida federal court. He claimed that he was a victim of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs and others. We've talked about him. We covered this, his lawsuit, where through a victim impact statement, it's very similar to what I'm about to go through. It says that it was about 5:30 p.m. on December 26, 2014, when I arrived home. I unlocked my door, and when I turned the handle on my door, I got something all over my hand that resembled Vaseline. I said to myself, ew, that's disgusting. I rubbed my fingers together in my hands as I went in to wash my hands to see what the heck this stuff was. The next thing I remember was waking up in the backseat of a car and being driven somewhere. It was Eric Mejias driving and Bonnie Rivera in the passenger seat. I said, hey, guys, what's going on? Where are we going? What am I doing here? Why are we driving anywhere? I'm supposed to be at home right now. Then I said, oh, wow, I'm really sleepy. I need to just put my head back a bit. The next thing I remember was waking up again and hearing Bonnie Rivera telling Eric Mejias that I was waking up. He said, he's waking up because what should I do? Eric Mejias then told him not to worry, just give it a minute. He'll fall back asleep again. I gave him a lot of that scopolamine. He must have given me a blot because I'm practically immune to that stuff. As a child, I had
Diamond Gang, Band-Aid Gang.
Yeah.
The name of that. Diamond, give me some intel on that tomorrow.
Isn't that the flower that they were talking about?
Yes, and Epstein was growing it. Can you
the trumpet. The trumpets.
Right. Can you spell matter of fact, Angel will look it up. Hold on. Go follow me, you guys. Look that up, Diamond Gang. SCOPOLAMINE. I'm gonna dig into that for my next live. Because I like to make it exclusive. So we're gonna dig into this, Diamond Gang. Let's go follow me. I think the scopolamine is what they blew. Okay, is there an echo anymore?
Is there an echo on my end?
Hold on, Diamond Gang. In there. Hold on, gang. Scopolamine. We're gonna look that up. The scopolamine is what I think is what they were using on a lot of people. So it's scopolamine, and I believe this is how they got, probably like Diamond, you said earlier, Gene Hackman to actually sign over his house, and how they allegedly, because it leaves no traces. Now, y'all listen to what scopolamine.
Right, and that could also lead to the fact, the reason why Lex Wexner might not know that he even signed over his assets to Epstein.
Hey, you know what? You might be right. I'm gonna look that up. I want another exclusive live.
My thing is, we also know that Lex was, I know from the emails, allegedly lovers with Epstein. So he could have used that and coerced him and then drugged him and then had him sign over all his assets to him.
Bingo. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a lot on this. Go follow me. We gonna look this. We going in on this tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Now we're gonna listen to it, but I want to dig deeper into that, into some names.
Take it quite a bit to go deep sea fishing with my dad on the weekends, which I loved. I just hated being seasick and developed quite a large tolerance to scopolamine. I thought that to myself, though. So this is very confusing because there's no direct mention in this to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not sure why it's in the files, but how could I not mention it when it's another direct reference to scopolamine? Again, seeming Epstein had some sort of interest in the trumpet plant that had this. So what do we make of it? Not entirely sure, but it's eerie to say the least and something to think about. Now, second part, I want to talk about a diary. what appear to be diary entries. In the files, there appear to be these diary entries from what seem to be.
Now we got this. Follow me. This is the last piece of the puzzle before we get ready to close out tonight. I hope you guys gathered a lot of intel. So,
and we all know Epstein was a whore.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said it like that. A male gigolo.
Let's go.
A message that keeps going viral from the so-called Epstein files. An email dated March 19th, 2015. Subject line, prepare for pandemics. In that message, the wording is simple but disturbing. Let's discuss next steps. For example, how to involve the World Health Organization. I hope we can pull this off. That single sentence is what set the internet on fire. Because 4 years later, in 2019, something very specific happens. Event 201, a high-level pandemic simulation held in October 2019, hosted by Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, in partnership with the World Economic Forum and supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This was not secret. It was publicly announced. It was openly documented. The purpose was to simulate a global coronavirus pandemic and to test how governments, corporations, media, and health organizations would respond. How information
Now, tell
would
me why this man is
how-
not arrested. Tell me why Bill Gates is not arrested.
Because the plan was to get rid of melanated people, and they were all in it.
This is the thing. They made us believe that China is the reason why we had our pandemic here in the United States. The whole entire time, this was Bill Gates and his cronies created the virus on purpose. They are responsible for so many unalivings of human beings. And I just don't understand how this man is still out here walking. Not to mention, if you looked at the emails, Bill Gates is not a good person. If you look at Bill Gates, not only was he responsible for doing things outside of just Microsoft, he was actually, as we now know, trying to discover things, doing all types of experiments with Elon. This man was also sleeping around with a lot of people and allegedly gave his wife an STD. That's also in the emails. But besides the point, why is he not arrested? This is the DOJ's fault, the CIA's fault. This is, I ain't gonna even say the CIA, but I'm gonna say the DOJ and this administration's fault for allowing this man to go around here since 2019 when Trump was in there the first time. So how we not know that Trump wasn't involved in it with Bill Gates and Elon to create C-19 on purpose in 2019 to distract us from whatever else was going on, and now they're trying to cover their traces now that he's back in office again.
I think that's exactly what they were trying to do, Diamond Gang.
Exactly. So, when Trump was in his first term, they purposely started C-19 on purpose. Now, mind you, if we have never had no real bad pandemic in any other presidency of any other person that got to this severity, right? So it's like, to me, it sounds like they're doing things deliberately on purpose. Just like with the situation with Iran, right? Iran, we had a Iran nuclear deal that Obama had in place. Soon as Trump got in the first term, he got rid of it. Now, look at what we're doing right now, currently. He's back in office. This all lines up to their own personal agendas. But I feel like that they have got away with it so long that eventually they have got away with it so long that they eventually are going to meet their maker when it comes down to this, because you can't keep doing wrong to people so much and think that karma's not going to come back on you.
Absolutely.
And Bill Gates, he just does not look like, that looks are deceiving. He doesn't look like he does anything wrong. This entire time, Bill Gates has been our number one enemy.
Public enemy number one.
Right. So you remember, right now, I feel like they're doing a real big investigation, right? I told you when prosecutors are actually about to slam dunk somebody, they're about to prosecute someone, they allow them to do so much crime, and they document everything, and when it's time for them to slam dunk them, there's no way that they can get out of what I think it is a RICO.
So the deposition that Lex Wexner had, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to lead to what? He has to go to court, right?
No, that was basically court for the Congress. What needs to happen now? When does he get
judged? So does he get judged?
No. So what happens is they're doing the investigation, just like the deposition with him. Now they're doing they just did a deposition with Bill Clinton, right. Hillary Clinton, and then there's more people that's gonna get deposed, including probably Melania Trump. Trump himself needs to be deposed. You got all these people that are going to end up being in front of Congress. But the issue that we have, the biggest issue that we have right now, is they're trying to act like certain parts of the Epstein files don't exist. So the people that we really need to know about, Congress needs to know about, they want to block as much as possible. And what happens is, if they perjure themselves, then they can go to jail. So right now you have a lot of them playing the fence when it comes to Congress, because they go in.
So it's a possibility they just might walk away. This just might disappear, right? Because they have to go.
No.
Okay,
like said, this is going to come down to, right now everybody focused on Congress. I think there's a bigger situation going on than Congress. I believe there's a high classified investigation going on certain few people, and they're about to get slam dunked. I'm telling you how prosecutors work. And if I'm correct, I will bet $100 on it right now. Give it some time. I believe that somebody's about to go down, and it's going to be a big fish. And the only big fish that I can think of right now, there's two. No, there's three. Because everybody focuses on Trump. Trump is a minion. Trump he's old and he's demented. He's not the big fish. It could be Bill Gates. It could be Elon. It could also be Epstein, because he might not be unalived. So there's something going on that's above us, that is going on outside of aliens, outside of what we think is going on. I think it's a bigger picture in this situation that's about to hit the fan really soon. So you guys just need to stay tuned, stay focused. Don't believe everything you see on the media. Believe half of it. Start listening to outsources. Listen to news channels from overseas. Don't just listen to our news channels here in America, because a lot of stuff that we're told here in America, there's a different story being told other places. So pay attention to outside media as well.
G Money said, Dove, when do you think the war will be over? I think the war will be over when they think.
Hold on. Let me answer that. We're not technically at war until Congress declares us at war. Right now, he's just doing whatever he wants to do, and Congress has to do. They have to do a hearing, and they have already said that they're actually going to put some stuff forward to try to block him from being able to attack Iran anymore without Congress approval. So if that goes through, it's going to go through the House, it's going to go through the Senate, and if the president if he vetoes it, which obviously he probably would veto it, right? It would go back to the House, it would go back to Congress, and they would actually take a vote on it, and they can actually override his veto. So
well,
it's gonna be a long process with that, because you know what the problem is. It's not the fact that it can't be done on stopping him from attacking Iran. It's the process that takes a long time to get through. You got to look at all these debates that they have to have in the House.
Diamond, that's not the conversation. Diamond, hold on, slow down. That's not the conversation we had on the phone.
Listen to what I'm trying to explain to you. With Iran, with the situation that's going on.
Yeah, she just talked to me.
I'm trying to tell you something.
What's up, Paula G?
Okay, Iran situation is not considered a actual war until
that's what we think it's a war. No, we're not gonna go there, Diamond.
But I'm trying to tell you how the process actually works.
You telling me what they want you to construct it like? See, they disappointed us with it's war.
He is trying to do that because of Israel.
People are unalive. Soldiers have been unalived, Diamond.
But are you going to listen to what I'm trying to tell you?
No,
not you don't know what I'm trying to tell you, because I know more than you do, so I'm trying to explain to you. Okay?
Okay, go ahead, Diamond.
Listen. Because of Israel, right? Israel wants...
Diamond. We're at war, gang. Look, we're at war. We're shooting rockets. Hold on, Diamond. War is when I shoot at you and you shoot back. That's war, right?
But it's an unauthorized...
No, hold on. Let me finish. Strike. We're at war, Diamond.
No.
They're shooting rockets.
We are not.
We're shooting rockets. That's what they want us to know here. That's lie vision. They've been telling lies for the longest.
Okay.
Don't be fooled. We're in war, Diamond. We're over there fighting.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay, I'm trying.
They're only going to televise what they want us to know. Hitler did that.
Hold on, deliberately did this.
Diamond. They only going to televise what they want us to know.
Right.
We get information from them.
Right.
They let us see over there. Their news is showing them something totally different.
I understand that, because I'm trying to explain to you what is going on. Israel is really the problem in this whole situation. Now, it is an unauthorized strike on what the current president is doing. He's going around Congress, which is not the proper way he's supposed to do it. However, the only way to stop him from being able to attack Iran further, because guess what? The UK said they're out of it. So you got to look at it. When NATO turns their back from the United States, right? We are more in danger because of this current president kissing.
That's not saying you're not explaining the fact, Diamond Gang.
Are you trying to explain what I'm trying to explain to you? Netanyahu is the problem. Netanyahu wants to take over the whole eastern region. Okay, that's what he wants to do.
Okay.
The reason why we're going through what we're going through right now is because Trump is slow, and I'm gonna tell you why he's slow. First of all, Netanyahu is a Jew, right? They don't even believe in Christianity, and they don't even like Germans. Guess who's German? Trump is.
What is that? You changing the subject again?
Because I'm trying to explain to you that he's
you know you're explaining. You're not staying on track, Diamond.
Okay, but you keep cutting me off. I'm trying to get to land my plane.
Well, punch me in my mouth then.
Netanyahu is using Trump to be able to get favor on basically using our troops to unalive our troops versus his own troops in Israel to take care of what his dirty work he's been trying to do for a long time now. He's been trying to take over the whole. When we went into Iraq, that had to do with Israel. It's all this stuff has to do with Israel. Netanyahu is a problem. Why do you think Israel has been kicked out of pretty much every country? Nobody wants to deal with them because this is what they do. What they're using Trump for is, well, I believe they have something over Trump in our government and how they are being able to get so much funding and be able to say that they're willing to cross their own NATO allies for Israel. There's something in there. But they're not, this is the thing where I'm trying to get you to understand.
No, you're trying to understand yourself.
He is trying to put us at war, obviously, because he's making unauthorized strikes, and they're striking back. They're hitting Saudi Arabia, XYZ, right? But this is the thing. We are not still declared at war by Congress. So legally, we are not at war. And that's another reason why UK is like, we're out of this. This is clearly some type of vendetta. Not to mention, one of the soldiers made an anonymous email, basically a letter, I'm sorry, stating that they're basically using religion the reason why they actually went and did this in the first place. It has zero to do with our government. This has to do with religion. This has everything to do with trying to ethnically cleanse the eastern region. Israel is always going to be our problem until we handle that problem.
So, like Lynetta said, do you think that this also has to do with oil?
It has everything to do with oil. And it also has to do with the fact that if you look at right now, currently,
well, we are at war then, Diamond.
Owns everything. What we're in war with is Israel. We're not in war with Iran. Israel is not our friend. They're not our ally. They have literally taken ownership of all our media, our news channels. They're taking they're literally buying up everything to be able to paint a narrative to support them over there to benefit themselves. Why do you think that we are spilling so many billions of dollars to Israel? They have something on us. They have been using that as leverage. They're using the Holocaust and all of that as leverage to get favor to what they want. So I'm not saying you ain't wrong, that we technically, it looks like we're at war, but technically we're not until Congress says we're at war. And the only people that can actually stop them from being able to engage with Israel's BS is Congress. They actually have to step in and actually be the checks and balances that they're supposed to be and stop this current administration from doing any more lawless.
Well, I think you actually finished pretty strong at the end because it made a little sense. It made a lot of sense towards the end.
We already lost.
We're forced to fight, so
already.
It's an undercover inner war with Israel. Is that what you're trying to say?
Israel is our issue. If you just
because we are being bribed by Israel.
We have been blackmailed by Israel for the longest.
Let's watch this clip, gang. Play this clip.
President, we're going to discuss more specifics later, but for the record, can you briefly describe the nature and extent of your relationship with Mr. Epstein?
Well, sometime after I left the White House, either in late 2001 or early-ish in 2002, I received a call from Larry Summers, who had been on my economic team and was later Secretary of Treasury and was then president of Harvard. And he said that he was calling because a man named Jeffrey Epstein, who had made a substantial commitment of several $1 million I think it was 10, but whatever it was, to brain research. And that he
wanted to work on a person's brain after he was out of office. I said that. He wanted to work on somebody's brain. He wanted to have something to do with somebody's brain, Diamond, when he got out of office. Now he out of office. Now this is when he got out of office, y'all, and he wanted to have something to do with some people's brain. Now we know what this sound like. Now, Diamond, you quiet on all type of other shit. Can you please feel this one out for me since you done felt out everything else?
Well, what he was basically referring to, if I'm not mistaken, because I just heard part of, because this is a long deposition, so I'm unclear on what part he's at right now.
Well, right
so
now, I'm gonna tell you. Right now,
you can replay it.
He said that he got out of office, Band-Aid Gang. They asked the connection to Epstein, and I know you heard it. So I'm gonna replay it for you again. So he said it was another guy, some name that he met, and said, "Oh, okay, let's go back, because she know everything. So we gonna ask her to fill this one out."
Oh, I remember what it is.
Okay, no, let it play. Let it play. No, let it play.
I remember now what that was. Now that you just said that.
But listen to what he said after, Diamond Gang. Listen to what he said after the fact. He's out of office.
My economic team and was later Secretary of Treasury and was then president of Harvard. And he said that he was calling because after
Mr. Epstein.
Well, sometime after I left the White House.
After he left the White House, Diamond Gang. After he left the White House.
After he left the White House. So that means that was under the Bush administration, if I'm correct.
Right. Forget the administration. Okay.
So it's a different administration at this point.
We're not talking about Bush though.
Okay.
We talk about what he did with Epstein. We talk about what he did with Epstein after he's not in office.
Right. He said.
Listen.
2001 or early-ish in 2002, I received a call from Larry Summers, who had been on my economic team and was later Secretary of Treasury and was then president of Harvard. And he said that he was calling because a man named Jeffrey Epstein.
Boom. So, you know what I'm seeing right here?
Larry Summers, his financial advisor.
But later, that same person was elected. Now listen, gang, look at the connection. Watch the connection. This right here, Band-Aid Gang, this is what I love doing. When he got out of office, this is what I'm getting, Diamond. When he got out of office, right? This other dude, let's track again. I just want to make sure I'm right. This is where they tie him back up into the game. This is where they tie him in the game. Look.
Harvard.
Look, watch this.
From Larry Summers.
Larry Summers. Now, he met Larry Summers, Band-Aid Gang. I love doing this. Watch this, G-Money. Watch me work. So, he out the office. So, he get a phone call from Larry Summers, right? So, right, Diamond Game, you tracking me?
Yes, his advisor, his financial advisor.
Right. So, later on, this guy goes in the... Now, listen. This is where they lock Bill Clinton back into the family. Right? Are you out of office? We're going to pull you back in. So watch how they pull him back in.
He had been on my economic team. And
he was on his economic team when he was in office.
Epstein.
Wait a minute, Diamond. Let me track it. He was on his economic team when he was in office. Y'all seeing that, right? But listen, and later on, look what happened to him.
Later Secretary of Treasury.
And later he became Secretary of Treasury. So which meaning later after that, that guy became Secretary of Treasury. Later on, Bill Clinton is out of office. So now who administration comes in?
The Bushes.
After Clinton?
The Bushes.
Bingo. hit the like button. There you go. So look, Diamond, later on he became what? What did he say? He became later on what?
I believe that he said he was the
Secretary Treasurer?
Secretary of Treasury, right?
Secretary of the money, right?
Right.
Oh, hold on.
You know how you sit there and say,
hold on. He worked with, listen, Band-Aid Gang, he worked with Bill Clinton. But when Bill Clinton went out of office, he became Secretary of Treasury, right? To what? A Republican now, right?
Correct.
So that guy went from Democrat to Republican.
Right. He's a financial advisor, just like Epstein was.
But listen to what I'm saying. Are you seeing the picture of what I'm saying? The guy went from working as a Democrat, bounced over to the Republican side, and then pulled Bill Clinton into the operation with Epstein. So now he's now he done flip-flopped, right? He flip-flopped and pulled Bill Clinton in, y'all. He pulled Bill Clinton
after he got coerced by the Bush administration. I get what you're saying now, because at that time he's now working with the Republicans and they have their own personal agenda, and Epstein was already in the mix of the Bushes. Now remember, the Bushes was also
wait a minute, you're going off track again.
Okay, fine. I was gonna
So what did you get? I want to hear you say that, because you make it a lot more clear. So where's the flip flop? Let's listen to the flip flop again. This how they tie him in. This what also shows that it doesn't matter what party, that they're all in it together. Look.
Right, but not necessarily.
Wait a minute, Diamond, don't butt. Wait a minute, let's just hear it one more time. Just to clarify it.
Mr. Epstein.
How did you meet Epstein?
Well,
this is why he pauses right here, because he knows. This is why he pauses, because he knows that what he about to say gonna tie in to the flip-flop. The flip-flop coming in. Watch.
Sometime after I left the White
After he left the White House.
Either in late 2001.
When he left.
Or early-ish in 2002.
He leaves. And
I received a call from Larry Summers.
Larry Summers was trying to get Bill Clinton to get blackmail on Bill Clinton.
No, he didn't say that. We don't know if it's a black.
If you look at it, Larry Summers is the common denominator in the situation. He met Epstein through Larry Summers. Larry Summers would have never introduced Bill Clinton to Epstein if he wasn't trying to blackmail him.
That part. Now listen.
House. Either in late 2001 or early-ish in 2002. I received a call from Larry Summers, who had been on my economic team.
So Larry Summers was on the Democrats' economic team, right?
Right, and then once Bill got out of office, he flip-flopped the Bushes so he could stay in office. He ended up getting a different position.
Right. So
but
why
then
did
now
Bill Clinton even mess with him?
Intertwined with the Republican Party and the people that the Republican Party know, and he got introduced through the Republican Party to Epstein.
All right, so let's listen.
And was later Secretary of Treasury.
For the Bushes. Say Bush. And later was Secretary of Treasury for the Bush. So now when he introduced you to Epstein, now listen.
And was then president of Harvard. And he said that...
Then he was the president of Harvard.
Of where?
Of Harvard.
Harvard or Harvard?
I believe it said the president of Harvard. Don't know what that refers to. I have to look it up. But it sounds like this man, Larry Summers, he was jumping around positions. And that's how Bill got intertwined with Epstein. My thing is this. If he didn't know who Epstein was before Larry Summers introduced him to him, I believe that Larry Summers and Epstein coerced to blackmail Bill Clinton. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? That makes sense. Now we tracking. So now I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. This is where they pull him in, right? That's like kind of said why I said pull him in. But you used the right words. They blackmailed him. But he didn't. Yeah, he don't know he's being blackmailed at this point, right, y'all?
Right. He didn't know. He didn't even meet this man when he was president. He met him when he was no longer president. Now, all the time that Bill Clinton was president, why wasn't
so Bill Clinton's still horny then, right? So Bill Clinton's still horny, so he had to act.
Jeez. Well,
so Bill,
Monica
but let's be honest, he's still horny.
Monica Lewinsky, this situation, y'all.
Right, so he's still horny. He got out, he met him, and he's still horny, y'all. Right, he's still horny. He active, ready to go to the island, ready to buy Versace shirts, right? So he ready to get in that Versace, right? He ready, you know what I'm saying, gang? I'm just being real. But I believe that he was knowing Epstein before then. That's just what I believe. I believe when he was in office, wait a minute, didn't he say that he was knew Epstein before that?
No, he said
Epstein was on some planes with him.
Right, but that was after he was introduced to him. That's after he was president. That when he was doing humanitarian events with other
which makes it look worse.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. When he went to Africa, right, he said in this deposition that he was told by somebody to go stay at this hotel.
Right.
Told to stay certain places that he could be videotaped, and he said he know for sure when he was in that hot tub in the pool there was a secret agent in the pool, so that means he was being watched.
Exactly.
So
he's being blackmailed. So he's not in office, but he's still being blackmailed.
He was being blackmailed, yes.
So it's a possibility that he's still being blackmailed and extorted, right?
Well, this is the thing. Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, back then he was more valuable than he is now because it's been so many how many presidents we've had since he was president? Back then he actually had more value. He's still valuable, but he had more value, and they was trying to nail these presidents down with some type of blackmail. So how you blackmail them is if you take them certain places or you meet them in certain places and you videotape them.
And you
put them in situations with the girls. You see the girls that was sitting in the hot tub with him. He said he didn't even know the girl, but the girl was placed in the hot tub with him. The girl was placed in the hot tub with him, and you see somebody clearly took a picture of it. So it was somebody there that was purposely taking pictures of him that he did not know was taking pictures of him. Because if you look at that picture of him in that hot tub, he's not looking at the camera. He's not looking at the camera. So that means somebody was taking pictures of him, and he didn't know he was getting taken pictures of.
Extorting him.
Basically.
So for me to extort you, I got something on you. And for me, he don't know what type of agent that,
the secret agent that was in that pool with him.
The secret agent could have been from Israel.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And now, mind you, remember in this deposition, they also asked him about that picture they had of him in that Monica Lewinsky dress. That was that picture.
So Israel has us under the clutch. Israel has us. Listen, gang. Israel has the Flux Deluxe on us. So the person that Jeff Hoopies, whatever your name is, listen to what we're demonstrating right now. Israel, and we heard in the deposition that they found out that Jeffrey Epstein was an agent. So we know that in this deposition. So You got a dumb president and you got dumb people that represent the country that have been extorted, along with Donald Trump, because his name was mentioned the most besides Maxwell. Hit the like button.
And you got to look at how many presidents they have literally blackmailed and extorted. The only reason why they couldn't get they couldn't get Obama is because Obama had his wife right next to him all the time.
And they threatened our government. They threatened our government with exposing the nation, protectors and heads of our nations with this. That's why we always jump to go to war with them, because they have extorted the country.
They have extorted the president.
So now here's your thing. If Donald Trump is willing to go to the extremes that he is going to right now, which means that he has been extorted too, because if he has no dirt on his hands, then we would not be in a war with Iran.
Exactly.
Bingo.
He has been extorted. He's been extorted. He's been blackmailed. All of that. I'm not deflating that. What I'm saying is
you never did. You never did. I'm not going to say that you did something you didn't do.
Right. I never said that he wasn't being blackmailed. I never said that. I said Israel is our problem, and it is. They have never been.
So you said that, but let me track you. You said that, right? Thank you, G Money. She said it's fine. You said that, but you know what? I piggybacked off of you, and we figured it out. You see how teamwork make the dream work?
Teamwork make the dream work. If you look at AIPAC money, is being spread all through Congress, all through the Supreme Court, all through the president. They're what they do is they offer money and they say, "Hey, I'm going to give you this amount of money, but I want you to do this for me."
So every receipt, I'm sorry, Diamond, because I was just cooking. So every receipt, every doctor that went on those trips, all of the receipts and everything, Israel has every receipt.
Not to mention, remember Doge, right? When Elon, quote unquote, was trying to wing out fraud and abuse, they were collecting all our data.
Bingo.
Remember what Elon did behind the presidential seal, which nobody has ever did in their entire life that I've been living. He did the Yahtzee salute behind our presidential seal.
Sure did.
Disrespect to us. So what I think is Elon is a double agent. Elon is messing around with Russia and he's messing around with Israel.
I think Elon Musk, this is just, when I look at Elon Musk, I think Elon Musk, this is just my opinion, and you know I'll go deep, y'all. I think Elon is akin to Hitler.
Right.
He's from Hitler's bloodline.
Back real quick, Dove. He's not affiliated with Israel. He's affiliated with Russia. Like you said, Hitler. Because of the simple fact is when Doge did what they did, the situation in Russia actually got more intel on us. That was through Elon. And remember, Elon's brother, Kimball, was messing with Epstein. So that's how Epstein ended up intertwined with Russia and Israel. He was already an agent for Saudi Arabia and Israel. Because remember, they found a passport with a fake. Because
when you look at
Saudi Arabia with
Diamond, when you look at Elon, don't he kind of look like Hitler a little bit?
No, he
looked like Hitler to me.
He's South African, but I believe he idolizes Hitler. I believe because you realize who's a German out of this situation.
Donald Trump.
He's part German. His father was German, and his mother was Scottish. The reason why Trump's family members even came to the U.S. is because of his great-grandfather, I believe one of his relatives, uncle or whatever, ended up dodging the draft in Germany, and they kicked them out and made them come back to America. They ended up changing their name from Drumpf to Trump. So his last name ain't even damn Trump, okay? And that's how they became to be able to gain their wealth. He had to change his name. His relative had to change his name in order to be able to gain any type of property here in the U.S. Not to mention Trump's. Well, I'm gonna never mind. Let me show you, because I was gonna talk about his uncle on how the Tesla situation even came about with Elon and all of that. So we got a lot going on here. I just can't go on into it right now and just go on rambling into different subjects. But we know that now after listening to this deposition, not to mention we have not heard Hillary Clinton's deposition yet, and she was a firestorm. If you guys have not listened to her deposition, you will hear it on our live. I don't know, yet tomorrow maybe. Right, Dove?
Right? Oh, definitely. Whatever you want to do. So let's listen to this part.
Right.
He was calling because a man named Jeffrey Epstein.
Right? He was calling because Epstein, this is where the blackmail comes in. Now look, y'all.
Who had made a substantial commitment of several $1 million. I think it was 10, but whatever it was, I don't. To brain research, and that he was
so Epstein was trying to do brain research, and he was wanting to invest millions of dollars into brain research. Y'all gotta hear this. This is Epstein doing this. So imagine what he was doing on that Zorro Ranch. Was he messing with people's brains?
Exactly. Now, the lady clearly states that she was waking up with all type of stuff in her connected to her body, but that's why I think the scopolamine had came in when they was giving them the scopolamine. So now look, oh, we on their ass.
Hey,
now let's listen.
Dove, you remember that picture I sent you of him operating on a woman? If we could show them that picture maybe tomorrow, of that picture of it looked like somebody operating on a woman's brain.
Right? I got Dolph tomorrow, recap on Dolph, and I'll fill that in. I might end up being able to get that in. But let me show you a video of this young lady when she said that. Go ahead, continue to ride it out a little bit, Diamond. Let me, till I find this.
All right, so we do have a picture, and I will show it tomorrow because I have it. I think I sent it to you, though, but I'm going to send it to you again. Of them actually stitching up a woman's brain, okay? You can kind of see them messing with her. It looks like they're doing something with her head. This leads up to the fact of what Bill Clinton just said.
Right.
Doing research on our brains.
Research on our brains. So we're going to go to this clip.
Right.
Go ahead, Diamond. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That explains why Bill Gates and Epstein became acquainted, because they had like-minded thought processes. They wanted to pick brains and do assimilations to try to see if things work, try to find the fountain of youth, and this is where it came to.
So watch this.
Main bedrooms. I was taken into like side rooms, and then he had the blankets up to here, and it was like around when he was orgasming or something that this happened.
So we can't deny she's on Epstein Island here. Look how young she look. Look how she's there. This is on Epstein Island. So now we can't say the lady's lying. She's been through a lot. The lady seen the man transform into an alien. She saw the man shapeshift. Let's rock the show, gang. Now look.
You know, because he also when he orgasmed, he used to make like a weird like crying scream.
Yeah, when he busted a nut, he was he made a sound like that when he busted a nut. She said he made a funny sound when he busted a nut. Diamond, look.
You know, because he also when he orgasmed, he used to make like a weird like crying scream.
Said he crying. Can you, Diamond? You ever heard a man cry when he busted a nut?
I guess.
Put one in the chat. If the man cried, you know the man cried when he skeeted. I said, damn.
I think there are some men that can't handle it and they end up crying like a crazy individual.
Have you ran into one Diamond? I ain't trying to get in your business. G Money said she confirmed it. G Money confirmed the man cried. Look, gang, now listen.
If they did, I couldn't tell.
Because you was doing something else. I said, damn, y'all get in here. Now look, y'all.
It was just very weird. And then, so I couldn't see his whole body when it happened. I only saw him from here because he had blankets there. But it was during that sort of time when he orgasmed and when I was in this room with him alone where I saw this thing happen.
Let's go, gang.
You know, and I wish I could explain it more. I wish I'd had evidence. But I mean, how is one supposed to get evidence of such a thing? I don't even know if a camera would be able to pick it up.
Now watch this.
But it very much happened. And, you know, and other weird stuff happened also. Like I've said in New Mexico, I saw you.
Now listen, y'all, in New Mexico, at the Zorro Ranch. At the Zorro Ranch. Look what happened at the Zorro Ranch, y'all. Let me press play.
UFO in the sky on the same day when I met Michael Bay.
She said she saw a UFO in the sky, gang. She said at the Zorro Ranch, she saw a UFO in the sky. Hit my like button. We rocking shows. So, Diamond, do you believe that? Put one in the chat if you believe she possibly saw a UFO.
I do. And let me ask you this question.
Me and Angel seen many UFOs in New Mexico.
How do we know that Epstein isn't an alien?
Thank you. Can I get that out of you? I've been trying to get that out of you for the last 2 months. And you finally seeing what I'm seeing, gang. Thank you to you finally seeing what I'm seeing. The man is not human, gang. And if they playing games, now we got the scopolamine. The scopolamine. Ain't that what it's called? Did I pronounce it right? Somebody put Jeffrey had an E.T. Man. I said, damn. So the scopolamine.
But that can explain the reason why people are saying they're seeing him in Israel.
Bingo. Shape shifting. We doing them all type of ways. Now look, y'all. Listen what she say. She saw a UFO.
Also, like I've said in New Mexico, I saw a UFO in the sky on the same day when I met Michael Bay, the movie producer there. Epstein was making us all watch the movie The Rock. Michael Bay denies being there, but he was there. You know, and also he made the movie about cloning the island in 2005. And I met him there in 2004. And, you know, all these years later, I've realized that there was very likely something going on underground there.
Bingo. Something is going on underground. Something, you know what is sad? You know what's sad, Diamond? And I just want to bring this up to you. We've all looked at the overview of how you get to Zorro Ranch. There is, right now, they could be cleaning that place up and we would never know. How they holding us back. There need to be cameras out there every day so they do not be able to clean up their mess. Right now, they could be blowing bombs right now to clear those tunnels, to hide everything that is going on. We don't know. But the distraction is that the war that they're having is destroying the tunnels, gang. They're hiding how the tunnels match because at the end of the day, they're going to find out. I believe that there is, in the hidden Epstein files, they're showing tunnels, that they have a connection with tunnels, gang. Mr. Northside say, yes, they killing the kids down there. This is what's going on, gang. But we'll never know. It's only one way in, y'all. It's only one way in there. It's a fortress. And all this time that they hiding and we having a war, they holding back the Epstein files, they're cleaning up the mess. Because if that type of information comes out, they thinking that the country is going to go haywire. If we find out that the stuff that they've been giving us in the Bible was not all true, they think that everybody's going to go crazy. See, the 10 Commandments was to make sure that we didn't attack the rich people. That's the only reason they made that. Love your neighbor. No matter if he's richer than you, love your neighbor. Thou shalt not kill, and do all of this. No matter what the rich people rob you, that a lot of that stuff is to keep rich people from being attacked by the citizens. Hit that like button. We ain't got to live like this. We're bringing you the truth. All of this time is one way in that place. It is a fortress. Right now, they're cleaning up the mess. They're cleaning up the tunnels. The stuff that they're hiding in the Epstein files. When they showed Epstein gang running around chasing them kids, scaring them, because see, you got to scare the child to get the adrenochrome. You have to scare the child first to get the adrenochrome. Thank you, Lord. You have to scare the child. See how he was running around? When we see boo with the little kids, we don't even know if them little kids had clothes on. Because they didn't show us. Why they didn't show the little kids and cover their face with a blur? It's a possibility them little kids could have been running around in a bikini, gang.
This is a sick world.
In a bikini. We seen a couple of pictures with them little girls in them bikinis. Stop playing with us. They scaring them little kids. Where are the little kids that were stacked up on top of the shelf? There was a picture that we showed where it was a 3-row shelf and them little kids was holding like in the Indian style, holding their knees together, sitting there with COVID mask on. Where are the little kids at, gang? Why our government ain't tracked them little kids? Why did our government let this slide? Because our government has something to do with it. Just like I showed you guys earlier, they made a pact with the aliens, gang. That's all it is. It is other life forms out there that they've been communicating with. And that's just what it is. And that's why they killed Kennedy, allegedly, because he wanted to open up, he wanted to know more about the extraterrestrials. They had to knock down Kennedy because of that. That's why Kennedy gone. The Epstein files is full of alien technology, communication with the aliens, and allegedly, I believe that it has in the Epstein files who unalived Kennedy. See, it's a lot of things in them Epstein files. Who unalived Kennedy? Who unalived Martin Luther King? It's a lot of that stuff in them Epstein files. And they refuse to let it go. And you know who got all the information and was able to squeeze it out of them people? Jeffrey Epstein. And Epstein passed the information over to what? To Israel. And Israel blackmails our country. That's why every time them people go to war, we go to war with them. Because they got all the information and they threaten to release it. So listen to this.
You know, there's a lot more going on, and they've been trying to cover it up, as we all know. And thank goodness, you know, these files have been coming out, and there's more truth coming to light. It's horrible because it frightens a lot of people. I mean, the media aren't even putting it out there yet because I don't think they don't know how to do it, because it's going to literally break people's brains.
See? You know, because it's going to break people's brains. It's going to break people's brains. Let's go. But this is the same people that y'all was running around saying was crazy. Y'all said Allie Potter was crazy. You said Adi was crazy. But Adi told y'all too about Puff Daddy, how they was liquefying the cocaine and turning it into a watery substance and putting it in the goddamn Ciroc bottles. See, Ciroc hurry up and got out of that because they was trafficking through the goddamn Ciroc bottles. And that's why they was able to get by on them planes. They was taking them Ciroc bottles that you can break down cocaine into a liquid watery substance and make it look clear like water. And once you get it to where you're going, you can harden it back up. And it turned right back to cocaine again. That's what Puff Daddy was doing on them planes. When they was advertising them Ciroc bottles on them planes. That Ciroc was full of cocaine, gang. Let's go.
People who are very religious or very it's a very, very difficult thing for people to comprehend. And but I saw very bad things there. I also woke up in a laboratory in New Mexico.
Look. Now this is her. Now this is her. She's explaining you how she woke up. So I'm believing now that's where the Diamond Gang, that's where the scopolamine come in, right? The scopolamine that erases your memory, don't know nothing. They was using the scopolamine. So we got to go back, Band-Aid Gang, analyze some more of this and talk about the scopolamine, right? If I'm pronouncing it right, I think I'm close. So now listen to what she say happens right here. So now we finna get on the surgical table because Diamond said we got the picture of the operations, right? So we gonna get deeper. So let's go. Look.
With 6 people in hazmat suits around me and a few New Mexico.
So she wakes up, Diamond Gang, with 6 people with hazmat suits around them. The same thing that remember when Phil Snyder, the one that the alien shot off his finger, Phil Snyder, he ended up unalived? When he said that he had to wear hazmat suits because they smell like sulfur and they carry diseases. Do you guys remember that we talked about that?
My thing is, what if they were putting devices in people's brains? Because remember they were saying they wanted to do that.
Oh shit! Say it again,
They put devices in people's brains, and when they told too much, they got unalived.
You absolutely right, gang. We tracking like G Money said. I remember. So Bill Snyder said they contaminated. Now listen. Hey, he said hazmat suits. Now listen.
With 6 people in hazmat suits around me and a female doctor came near my head. I was basically paralyzed and strapped to a table, and my eyes opened and I was freaked out.
Scopolamine. They go to scopolamine. Scopolamine had her where she was conscious with her eyes. Now they spoke about that. So now we gotta have a live where we get into detail about the scopolamine. So I'm gonna bring the scopolamine in and we're gonna go right back to this clip again, right? And we're gonna stay back on track. So now the scopolamine, so now she's sitting with her eyes open, but she's paralyzed. So is this why, Diamond, that they taking all these doctors on these airplanes with them? So they can paralyze people?
Remember they had a doctor that was on his payroll that was from New York.
Exactly.
So I think this is what it gets even deeper with the fact that maybe some of these people was drugged, don't remember what happened. They were bugged with whatever device they put in these people's skull.
Yep.
Woke up, didn't realize they had that
inside of them.
That inside of them, and now they know, if they say too much, they can just flip a switch and they're gone.
Bingo. Woo! Or they know exactly where they are. Let's go. Listen to this.
He paralyzed and strapped to a table, and my eyes opened and I was freaked out. And then the female doctor came near me and she said, "Don't worry, everything's okay." And then suddenly I was out again. You know, also before I was sent home from there, Epstein gave me a pelvic exam, almost like a doctor would. So, you know, eventually I started to realize I think these bastards were taking our eggs.
Taking their eggs, gang. So what are they taking their eggs to? Were they taking their eggs to Africa?
They're probably cloning people.
You know, and then with more and more research, you know, you realize there are movies like Westworld, series like Westworld. Apparently the ranch used to be called Westworld. You know, it's just quite clear that there's been a huge cover up here. And I mean, also even before Epstein was arrested, he ordered like gallons of sulfuric acid to the property. He also ordered, you know, tons of cement. He ordered carpet shredders, towel extractors. I mean, it's quite clear they were
And
trying to
wouldn't
hide
that
something. And also
actually
with that island,
trigger the government? Come on now. Nobody can order that much stuff that without triggering something, especially the sulfur acid. The amount that he ordered at once would have triggered, if I'm not mistaken, some type of it would have triggered OSHA, or
right.
It would have triggered somebody to be able to do an investigation.
Where is these companies? Why aren't these companies? We know that he ordered it. Why ain't we talking to the company people and who was working there to pour the acid and stuff like that? That's what we need to know. Who the people that went down there and did that work to get rid of that, to handle the acid? It should be a list of the people that went and delivered this stuff. Who were the people that delivered this stuff? And after they delivered it, who was on the work site to do the rest of the work?
Right. And that's what the big issue comes along with, because if he really was a double agent and he worked for the CIA, it could have been very well the CIA that covered all this up and did the dirty work. We don't know.
Facts. Damon said, I know the motherfuckers wish they never linked up with Epstein.
Right, because what he did was he coerced them through money deals, and he got them on his property. Because remember, Howard Lutnick brought his whole entire family to the island, already knowing this man was a registered pedo. Like, also, you heard Lex Wexner say the same thing. Oh, I went to the island and I had my whole family with. What make you think, if after you know or you have some type of knowledge of someone having pedophilia ways?
Now that we know Vice President Dick Cheney and Senator Barack Obama are distant cousins, the New York Post decided to check into the genealogy of President Bush, and his family tree has people talking. Early Show national correspondent Tracy Smith has the story of George W. Bush's many relations.
My honor to bring to you the 41st president, a great dad, George H.W. Bush.
We all know his father, but what about his cousins? Check out this family tree, done with research by Ancestry.com.
What would you say if I told you he's related to all of those people?
You're wrong. Oh, no, I'm not. Let me take you through this, branch by branch.
The 101st Airborne Division, air assault.
Vice President Dick Cheney, the man who's only a heartbeat away from the presidency, is actually a blood relation. He's President Bush's ninth cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin.
How is the Barack Obama's Cheney's?
Because
cousin,
of his mother is Caucasian, remember?
Now listen.
And the ninth cousin of Brad Pitt. But we're only just getting started. President Lincoln was President Bush's 7th cousin 5 times removed, and Bush shared more than just a ballot with John Kerry. That's right, they're 9th cousins twice removed.
Really? What do you think of that?
Yeah, they have the same chin.
There's also royalty in the Bush bloodline.
Bingo. Royal all right. And them gonna be the same people allegedly that's gonna knock down Donald Trump.
Princess Diana was Bush's 11th cousin, twice removed. And then there's this bombshell.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Sure, she may have been singing to JFK, but what about GWB? He is, after all, her 9th cousin, 3 times removed.
Oh, maybe it's the eyebrows.
They have the same eyebrows.
He's also related to Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, even Pocahontas, and Vlad the Impaler. Trace the family tree far.
Hugh Hefner! The underground tunnels. He's related to Hugh Hefner, gang. He's related to Hugh Hefner, gang.
Enough, and you get Madonna, Celine Dion,
Madonna,
and Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
After all, genealogy can sometimes be like a box.
Life could be just like a box of chocolates. Oh boy, we did some exposing today, Band-Aid gang. How about it? So, we're going back to the scopolamine, right? And we're going to link that in. So, we're going to go back to also 9/11. You know we got to go back there. And
you remember there was a picture in Epstein house of Bush Jr. next to 2 towers that fell over in a plane in his hand.
Right.
To me, it's like he was telling stories of things he knew in the pictures and post them around his house.
My part, yes.
Because remember, Bill Clinton didn't know that man had the picture of him in that dress hanging up in his house. He found out about it during that deposition. And he said, if I would have knew he had that picture, that would have solved all this, right? You wouldn't even had this deposition right now. Basically meaning he probably would have sued him.
Bingo. So now,
what I spent my time doing.
If you want to yell at me, that's fine, but I'll yell right back.
I spent
trying to look out for other survivors, trying to.
And I was taking care of the people who lost 3,000 lives.
And now you're being
at World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today.
You asked me
I have
about
met
Howard
with
Lutnick.
Epstein survivors. I'm a survivor myself. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did not.
Howard Lutnick was.
If you
used
have
to
an
get
email
money,
with me asking Jeffrey Epstein
I have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to Jeffrey Epstein and his people to raise money for
I don't know about
an event, an intimate event for you at his office.
Well,
gang. Gang. Let's continue.
Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did not.
Howard Lutnick was.
If you
used
have
to
an
get
email
money,
with me asking Jeffrey Epstein
I have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to Jeffrey Epstein and his people to raise money for
I don't know about
an event.
To raise money for her. Diamond.
But that's if she doesn't know about it. How is she supposed to know about it?
But we don't know. We don't know. But we don't know if she doesn't know about it though.
Well, this is the thing. If them two were
Tell me the thing.
If them two was coercing to make money for whatever reason, there's plenty of people that were campaigning and doing things for their own benefit that a lot of these celebrities don't know about. Why do you think there's so many lawsuits?
All right, let's continue.
intimate event for you at his offices at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're going to sit here today and obfuscate and say to this committee, you didn't try to get money from Jeffrey Epstein when there was an intimate event in an email that Howard Lutnick emailed to Epstein's people and Epstein to get him to come to your intimate event at Cantor Fitzgerald, a very small event. And so I'm not going to put up. If you want to yell at me, that's fine, but I'll yell right back.
Well,
okay? I am looking out for survivors. I'm doing the job that you would not do and refuse to do as Secretary of State. Thank you, and I yield back to
No, I'm going to finish answering the question, which I have a right to do. Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be. I don't follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online. I regret that anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything that might have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
This is who testified in the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion? You're asking him to think about why Mr. Epstein would say something about him?
Why would Epstein say that
So
about
she's asking you to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
Clinton likes them young, referring to girls.
First of all, that's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes.
Okay.
At my age, anybody younger.
Boom! Got him again. The intern was young. See, he knew it now. That's how they popped him. He said he didn't. This is Aisha. This is we got you.
That's
62 in the building. Double tap that screen, y'all.
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
Young could mean underage.
Intern
So
young?
she was trying to trick question him.
Yes.
Okay.
At my age, anybody younger than I am.
And at the end of the day, him acknowledging the girl that his assistant was young is not nothing wrong with stating that. There's nothing wrong with what he said.
Let's go, gang.
He didn't have to since I was never there.
Did you ever travel to Zorro Ranch?
Look.
Is that the one in New Mexico?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Have you ever flown on anyone else's private jet 26 times or more for overseas trips?
I have flown as many miles on other jets, but never with as many stops.
When you saw photos of your husband in a hot tub laying on a beach and getting massaged by other women, and you knew that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all?
Did it concern you that Aisha was rubbing on his neck? Yeah, we need to know that.
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
When you saw your husband in these photos with young women being massaged, what went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
Wait a minute. Look, y'all, when you saw the photos, listen, we got 80 up in here. When he saw the photos of him getting massaged by who? Women, not one, not just Aisha. So she saw more photos, Band-Aid gang. So let's remind y'all of that. She saw more photos. Look, listen to this.
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
When you saw your husband in these photos with young women being massaged, what?
Boom. When you saw your husband in the photos with young women, not one, not two. Get in here. This is what I do. So now with young women, so now we know they were young and that they know the women were young. Now with her answering this question, is going to verify that the woman that was there massaging him was young. Double tap my screen because I ain't playing with y'all.
But remember the fact that he was told to go there.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if he was told to go there.
So,
I don't care.
if
I don't care if he was told. Hold on. He is a grown man.
Okay,
he is a grown man.
If he was told or he was coerced to go somewhere and he said, okay, we're going to be able to get some people to give you a massage, he don't know who the hell's coming out to give him a massage.
It doesn't matter. He should have looked for their ID and asked them who the hell they was. And first of all, he shouldn't have been there getting no damn massage in the first place.
Do you do that?
He shouldn't have been there getting no massage by not
one
girl.
There. You are correct. He shouldn't have been there.
Thank you. And not one girl. And if you're listening, Diamond Gang, it's not one girl. It's more than one girl.
We all know that. This is the
right,
same.
But when he did his deposition, he said he didn't. That he wasn't like he wasn't even near these people.
He would do to blackmail all the politicians.
But see, that's why they crossed them up. That's why they put him in the clutch. They did him in the flux deluxe.
But
they was glad to get these people.
He was being blackmailed, or was it Epstein and the crony?
Diamond Gang, they was glad to get both of these two to do it separate because what they did was break them down. See, they know what they doing. Hit the like button, gang. Listen to what they said.
Really? Because if that was the case, they would have been locked up Trump.
Listen, gang.
So I don't think so.
I do. Let's go.
On other jets, but never with as many stops.
When you saw photos of your husband in a hot tub laying on a beach and getting massaged by other women, and you knew that Jeffrey Epstein was involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all?
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
So you're going to ask this next. They're going to ask you.
How does she know?
Hold on, now. Let me rock out. Let me rock out because I'm wrong. I'm cooking now. I'm cooking. Let me cook. Let me cook.
When you saw your husband in these photos with young women being massaged.
You saw your husband in the photo with these young women. Not one young woman. Not when the first time he was questioned by himself in his deposition, he act like it was one woman there that he was separate from all the people. And one might have came around and he was in the picture, the one picture. But they're specifying right now more than one woman. So which means what, Band-Aid Gang and chat? They got more shit. They got more shit. And listen what she said. Hold on. Let me cook. Listen.
Through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
What if starting a dropshipping business didn't feel so complicated anymore? With AutoDS, everything works in just a few.
Let me cook, Diamond.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband?
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
After you learned that Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of sex crimes with kids, did any of these photos of your husband with women being massaged on the beach?
With women? So it's photos that they seen that we ain't seen, right? So this is showing that
we have seen.
We haven't seen what they have seen. We don't know what they have seen. We don't know what they have seen. We get the scraps. We've been getting the scraps. We've been getting the scraps since the beginning. Just like the internet, they've been had the internet, and we got the internet after they. They've been had the internet. They've been giving us the scraps.
Right, but what I'm saying
and if we wasn't getting the scraps, we would have never been found. This shit never would have surfaced. We've been getting the scraps. They had computers before we had it. They was on the internet before the people was on the internet. And that's why we all lost in the time right now and all lucked up because we don't want to believe this shit because we too hyped now. They've been lying to us.
I will give you credit. They is lying. A lot of people are lying. But at the same time, you got to look at the DOJ still has 3 million gigabytes of information that they have not even released.
But they have seen it. You're missing the point. They have seen it. They are all in it together. They have seen it. These people that I have showed you are all related. They have seen it. They know. These people are related.
They have not went through 3 million gigabytes.
You don't know how long they've been sitting on this mess, trying to clean it up. They didn't set up there. Hold on, Diamond. Hold on. They didn't huddled up. They didn't. Nah. You're not gonna get me with that one. You're not gonna get me with the bias shit. No, I'm not biased. No, that's bias. That's being biased. You're being biased. You're being biased. Yes, you are. You're being biased because. Again, they've been hiding shit. They know they have to be released. They have
from the Jeffrey Epstein.
No, hold on. You're being biased. They have huddled up. They have huddled up with each other, and they have looked at these files. Did you not listen to Howard Lutnick when he said, I looked over all of these files just like everybody else did. So he let the world know that he had looked, he had let the world know that he had looked over the files. They have access to all this shit. That's why they was reducting shit, because they looked over all of them.
Right, but that's
these
Congress.
Looked
that
over all of those files.
DOJ that is interviewing her. The DOJ
I'm not going for something. I'm not going with what they're giving me. I'm going with the way my body is vibrating and what they have shown, and that they have lied to us about everything.
Interviewing her in this deposition. That is Congress, not the DOJ.
Hit the like button, y'all. We right
here. The ones that have the files. Not Congress does not have all of the files.
Do you know? Listen, you don't know what Congress got. The whole government is crooked right now. We don't know what none of these people got.
Well,
they got to hand this shit over. Then Congress need to make them hand it over. They all are in it together. Stop being biased. No, I'm not going.
Are you going to catch a breath?
I'm not going because it'd be stuff like that be having people believing the bullshit. But
first of all, you got to know what you're speaking about first. I'm trying to explain to you.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that, gang.
Might have information, but what they're talking about right here is stuff that was already released. That's all I was trying to tell you.
I'm not mad at you, Diamond. We rock shows together.
I know that.
And we're not sitting up here going back and forth like this. We're not getting our point across. If you agree with that, do you agree with that? I agree when you go this way, because that's what makes our lives unique and real. Because this is how we got to get our point across, and that's what we have to do.
Right,
You've been rocking with me from day one. When we do this shit, we don't get mad at each other.
If you're
We're just not agreeing now.
All the documents stuff. They do not have all the documents. We know that the DOJ is covering up majority of the documents. But what they're talking about in this deposition, Congress is interviewing Hillary Clinton. The information they're talking about, those photos have already been released. That's what I'm saying. Now, is she gonna stop talk about her husband getting massaged by young girls? Hell no. And honestly, if I was her, I wouldn't answer that question either.
But that's still being biased to shit. Don't nobody care if she does
it. Her husband.
It does not. We don't care, but the people don't care if she does or doesn't answer that question. We don't care about what about that shit. We care about the files. We care about the lies that have been told, how they caught him in the cross. We expect the unexpected, else we have to live right now.
Okay, so
all of these people are related. The whole government is crooked, and they're trying to cover up the shit, and that's just it. And they're doing their best, and they're taking our
complete truth. I don't know Hillary personally.
All right, let's listen.
I do know.
That's what I'm saying.
She is very intelligent on things that she's talking about.
Man. Well, what about Danny Williams then? Tell me about Danny Williams. Why she know that's that boy's son?
Danny Williams?
Yeah, that's what I said. Danny Williams.
You said Danny is Fanny. Oh my God.
I said Danny Williams. What about his son? His son named Danny Williams.
I can't.
Tell me about Danny Williams then. His son, his black son that he got. Is she so intelligent? Why she ain't gonna do nothing or make that man go take that DNA test of his son named Danny Williams?
Talking about the boy that looks like Bill Clinton that possibly is his son. I thought you were talking about Fannie Williams. Okay. Anyway. Okay, I get what you're saying now.
I
Now,
know you
if
do.
that was the stipulations, if they want to find out if that child is his or not, that's something that Bill Clinton should do. I think he looks just like Bill Clinton, to be honest.
Exactly.
Bill Clinton was a whore. We all
So,
know
but his,
that.
so his wife know what was going on too. But she's so intelligent, and they've been hiding that. So what makes you think they don't hide everything else they do?
No, there's
Hit that
also
like
a
button.
such
Don't say
thing
no.
as
There go
when
that
you're out
bias
of
shit
town
again.
overseas and she's not there. She don't know what the hell you're doing until she finds out. He was overseas.
Okay, let's go. Let's
He was
keep on
not
going,
there
gang.
with him.
Let's keep on going.
All right.
Love you too, Diamond.
I
That concern you.
I have no context for even answering that question. And I think, obviously the innuendo, all the rest of it.
I'm asking a black and white question. I'm not putting any leading statements into it or adjectives. Did you do anything to determine what was happening in those images or on those trips?
What's up, Denise? I see you. What's up, everybody in the chat?
Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender of children. Did you do anything to determine what was happening on these trips with your husband?
I don't find any of your questions to be relevant to the investigation.
What is relevant if a former president was traveling around with young women?
Well, you'll have a chance to talk to him tomorrow.
You said this morning you did not solicit funds from Jeffrey Epstein, correct?
Uh-oh.
That's absolutely correct.
Did anyone solicit funds from Jeffrey Epstein on your behalf?
Not that I'm aware of.
I took a look at a few of the more flagrant clips from that deposition, but body language speak volumes, 100%. I mean, look at Bill when he's asked these questions. Look at Hillary as she's asked these questions. There's a lot going on. Are we watching some of the greatest theater of all time? Let me know in the comments.
The three-word reason why millions of people are leaving ChatGPT right now. OpenAI designed to deal with the Pentagon, and Sam Altman says it has two hard limits. No mass surveillance of Americans and no lethal autonomous weapons. But according to The Verge, those limits are fiction. A source familiar with the contract says every line of the agreement boils down to three words: any lawful use. If it's technically legal, the military can use OpenAI's technology to do it. Problem is, lawful is exactly how the NSA justified collecting the phone records of millions of Americans daily over a decade. Programs Edward Snowden exposed.
So OpenAI, aka ChatGPT, will now be using their technology to really mass surveil all of America. This is front page news. If I
whore. That wasn't nothing new. When he slept around with Monica Lewinsky and he got that black guy from Hillary, we knew he was a hoe then. That is not what I'm disputing. I'm not saying he ain't mannish, but I'm saying he was put in situations to be blackmailed. That's what I'm saying.
What do you think about today's show?
I need some ibuprofen.
Why?
Because he was yelling, and I need ibuprofen to soothe his headache.
So you mad at me?
No. I just think that you go on tangents, but that's how you is. But at the end of the day, I believe that Hillary did not know half of the stuff that was going on those trips with Bill Clinton and those cronies when they were going to do their humanitarian work. She wasn't there. Now, if she was with him on the trips, he probably wouldn't even got in that hot tub with those ladies being in there and all that stuff. Come on now. Realistically, you think that he was going to pull all that stuff off around Hillary? Hillary already looks like she slapped the dog crap out of him every chance she can. Okay? So if she ain't around, whatever he's doing, she won't know about until she finds out about it. Just like when she was trying to ask, that lady was trying to ask her all these questions about it. She like, you ask him. Now that I know about it, what you want me to say about it? Because you want me to be mad about it, I might be mad about it. But I'm not going to give you the satisfaction to hear me pissed off about it.
Do you admit that a lot of things that I have said has came to manifest 2 to 1 day after I say it happened?
Diamond? Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. The Zora Ranch, especially, the Zora Ranch situation, we know that the state has opened up an investigation and the feds are trying to close it down very rapidly.
Don't forget Tom Ford.
Tom Ford. We have
Don't
not
forget
heard
we were talking about something else and I said they was trying to cover up and the next day the Epstein files came out.
Right.
Don't forget I mentioned the aliens getting ready, the alien agenda getting ready to come out, and it came out.
Right. So
okay, you said right 4 times. So when are you? I'm just saying.
I'm just saying you was right in a lot of ways, but when I hear you speak about uh certain things, like I just feel like that it gets deeper than just the surface. You look at certain things that people say. I feel like we need to go over the whole entire deposition of Hillary Clinton so we can hear everything she has to say, start to finish, and then we can come to a conclusion on what Hillary had to say.
So
Now,
you
am I
want to?
saying
Well, I
that
have
Bill
Dolph
Clinton is
tomorrow. I have
innocent?
an update on Dolph tomorrow. Would you like to join me
On Dolph? Nah.
I wish you would. If you
Lie.
don't be up there with Dolph with me tomorrow, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Why you want me to be up there for? To talk about him? What new information did you find out?
I'm not gonna say right now.
Okay, well, okay, fine. If you
Are you
want me
gonna be
up, I
there?
will definitely come up with you. I will.
And then I'll do what you say next. Is that cool?
All right, that'll roll.
All right, we got a deal.
Yeah, we got a deal.
All
Now,
right.
mind you, audience, this how we is on a regular basis. Don't take us seriously. When it come down to talk about stuff, we talk about stuff every day. Trust me. Okay,
Yes.
it's never a dull moment with this fella over here. Okay,
Well, that
so
is what it is.
it's never a dull moment when it comes to us, for real.
Yeah,
So
I'm just passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about the people that I have on my platform. Every person that's on my platform, my mods, the people that's in my chat that support this channel, they very open-minded. I took a minute to open Diamond's mind. It took a minute for her to open my mind when it came to politics. Now let me just be totally honest. Diamond is totally ahead of her time when it comes to the politics because she tried to get me into this a long time ago, but we were on the Dolph situation, but look what came to surface. Diamond really spoke of all of this ahead of time, not the certain incidents, but what was coming, and it happened. So I'm glad to have her on my platform. We work very
yeah,
good together.
because he was not wanting to talk about politics at all. Because as you see, he's really just kind of like in the fence, in the middle, and just
Right.
kind of all over the place, literally. But when it comes down to me, you already
Was
know
that
I
an
am.
insult? All over the
No,
place? What do you mean?
no, that's just saying politics wise, unless I tell you about it or kind of guide you the right direction with certain things, you don't know. So there's like certain stuff I gotta like tell you about. But anyway, that's
Thank
the
you.
name of the
Thank you,
game.
Pamela. But
And
yes, so we
I'm
will
going
go
to.
back to Diamond. What do you want to do next? I'm gonna go to the scopolamine, and I'm gonna still go back to what was happening on these operation tables. I want to know more about the doctors and those type of situations. But what do you want to cover when it comes to that after Dolph tomorrow?
I
What do you
think
want?
that we should talk. We should go over the Hillary deposition, and then we should also talk about more about the Zorro Ranch. We need to go deeper into the state government of New Mexico, because if we go into the state government, we can understand why they're covering up
Okay.
a lot of the stuff that's going on with the Zorro Ranch currently right now. Because if you got to look at it. We got the federal, and then we got the state. But the state government, a lot of the land of the Zorro Ranch, they had took back ownership of. But there's certain part that we really need access to find out if there are really bodies on the ground. It's a private property. It's private property. They can't access it without, I guess, a court order. And it's a long, dragged out process. But the federal government is basically trying to shut that down immediately before it gets to the point of where we need it to go. So, like I said before, I think that we need to start protesting. We need to actually have people go out to where the Zorro Ranch is, protest in front of it. Multiple people. We need get.
But
But
that's
I
the
would
thing
imagine.
but that's the thing that I was trying to say, Diamond.
Right.
You're not going to be able to get there. I told you that you already know I'm a truck driver, but that road, when we looked at the map, that's a single road that goes strictly to the Zorro Ranch. So if you're on that road, gang, you're gonna get pulled over. So there's no way that people are gonna get to go up there and protest.
But I'm saying they can protest at the end of the road. I'm just saying, if you
But
are,
we're still not going to be able to see what they're doing as if they're cleaning up the mess. We're not going to know what they're doing up there.
No, but it will bring attention back to the Zorro Ranch. That's what I'm saying. If people protest in front of the Zorro Ranch, down the street or whatever, the end of the road, and it's enough people to generate the media, that would bring back more of a focus back on the Zorro Ranch that's needed to open up a better investigation on what's going on over there. See, right now, people ain't even bothering with New Mexico like they should be. Like Ohio. Ohio is another stumping ground.
Ohio is another place
of pedophilia and people coming up missing. So what I think needs to happen is people need to start protesting. People need to start doing their research. And we need to keep in the know, because if you don't know, you're going to be lost in the sauce. And we definitely, right now, especially when we have a incompetent president and we have a really horrible cabinet, it's important right now to.
You're right, G Money.
It's important right now to do your research. It's important to keep in the, like I said, in the know. If it just takes just maybe 15 minutes out of your day just to scroll to see what's going on. Not saying just focus on our media, focus on some of the media outsourced too, because we can find out more things if you look at other resources abroad of the United States. Because right now we are being occupied by Israel. Little by little, they're taking ownership. Right now, they're trying to take the ownership of CBS, NBC, CNN, all of that is, they're trying to combine them into a deal for Israel. Israel's trying to take over everything over here. So if you don't think Israel is causing a conflict for us, they've been wanting to do it for the longest, because Israel, without what they're doing by using people, they are nothing. Okay? So they have been getting away with this for so long. We really eventually got to cut the cord. We got to stop accepting money from them. We got to eventually try to seize their properties from over here. I think the next president, whoever it is, he, she, I believe it's going to be a she, needs to completely cut ties completely from Israel.
Yeah.
So
with that being said, Diamond, I got to cut it short.
No problem.
I want to thank all my VIPs, Coral, Damon, G Money, Mike, Nurse 59, the General, for coming through. She probably sleeps. She been holding it down, giving me this information. So I definitely want to give special thanks to her. All the people in the chat that were sharing your thoughts. Denise, thanks for coming again. Denise always show up. I've been used to seeing her. Denise always shows up when she can. So I want to thank Denise, Paula, all the new people that came in, Lorraine, Jeff, Neo King.
Yeah, all the new gang.
We thank you guys for coming. I know we got a little hype. Chicken Nugget, all the people that came in supporting this channel. We do appreciate y'all. I know we get reckless over here sometime. Frank Johnson, I try to thank you all. Thank you guys for coming in today, y'all. I hope you found a lot of knowledge in this. After this live, you can go back to it. Go to the comment section where it says comment and roll to the right, and you'll see hype the video. So hype this video, y'all. So tomorrow we're going in on Dolph. There's been a lot of new intel that hit the streets. There's something I want to show my gang that that's not going to turn it, but it's going to show you guys a little bit different, but it's definitely on point. So I'm looking forward to doing that tomorrow. So we'll hit that later on tomorrow night. So y'all just stay tuned. All the new subscribers, make sure you hit the notification bell. We're going to stay on top of this, and I want to thank everybody for coming. Cupcake, thank Cupcake, because she's been definitely giving me a lot of information on the Dolph case. So we just want to deliver it right, and it's about time that we speak, because that's where we came from, the Dolph sector, for those that don't know. So peace and love to everybody. I'm C-Dub, Mr. I ain't said a word, but you know what I'm saying. And I said, damn, and I'm with the Real Angel. And we are We beat you, and I'm with Diamond Gang. Thank you guys for coming. Shouts out to Dr. E, been on the road rocking. We're gonna get him over here tomorrow on the Dolph situation. So yeah, he's still part of the family. And just shouts out to my sister, the Grace Spills the Tea. Y'all make sure y'all to subscribe to her. It's DAGRATDATEA. She covers this type of stuff as well. So y'all tap in with her. She's been doing very well. So y'all check her out. Peace and love to everybody. May God be with you on your journey. I know it get hard out here, but remember, we're going through the same thing together, and it is called life. Be glad you're above the ground instead of under the ground. Share love because there's too much hate in the world. Peace and love, everybody. We love you. We out. Peace. Band-Aid Gang.